on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. I'm here. I did not look outside and see the weather and see that it's beautiful outside and make the decision to call off. I'm here for you every day. I'm reliable. I'm old trusty. Rob, Benedict Arnold, traitor, slacker. That's not how you get ahead in life. In fact, you know what? He represents middle management. He's got middle management energy. He takes Friday off and leaves the worker bees like myself to fend for ourselves. But I'm here because I do this for you guys. 24/7, 365, no days off. I'm here every day for you guys, pushing, battling, coming up with topics because that's the job. That's not who Rob is. I'm happy to be here. Nathan coming off the bench, just setting screens, playing a little defense, rebounding, blocking shots, helping teammates up.
I'm the first man in, last man out.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of energy we need because that's not the energy that Rob has. Rob can identify it in other people. That's why he hired you. But Rob can't put that work ethic inside himself. That's the problem.
No, I get a call at like 12:45 from Rob. Sounds like he's outside on a patio at brunch, maybe a couple mimosas, a Bloody Mary. I don't know. And he says, I need you to be here.
He didn't answer the phone when I called him.
Man, no, it's crazy.
I didn't hear from the man.
Crazy.
I didn't hear from the man. So you're better than me. Speaking of Rob, do you think that you can shoot a basketball better than Rob? Do you think you can shoot a basketball better than me? Well, you know what? On Wednesday, March 18th, starting at 6:30, we are having our first ever Pop-A-Shot tournament. Now, I know the text line, y'all do a lot of yapping. And then when it comes time to actually put that motion, you're nowhere to be found. But for those of you that are willing to step up, we're going to start registering people on March 9th. 2 days, you're going to have two chances. Oh, I missed it. March 9th and March 10th. The winner of the Pop-A-Shot tournament is going to receive $200 to Draftcade and to the Funny Bone. Shout out to them. Great partners. We love the Funny Bone. We love Draftcade on this show. We're doing a Pop-A-Shot tournament Wednesday, March 18th. So listen to the show. Go work on your jumper. Go to Draftcade. But if that's out of your way, go to Up Down, go in the backyard, work on your jumper, and qualify for the contest. I'll be there. Rob will be there. I'm not sure if Nathan will be there. Fun will be had.
I'll be standing right here.
Fun will be had. I can tell you that much. Before we get into the show, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, as you listen to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, go stop by and see our friends over at the other place. They got karaoke tonight at the Olathe location. They got karaoke tonight over at the Overland Park location. So if you want to go get a great meal, you want to have something to drink, and you want to get up and you want to sing 1,000 miles, you can do so over at the other place. 5 locations around town. But tonight for the Friday night karaoke, it's either Olathe or the Overland Park location. Now, with Rob here and my normal boss, Steven Spector, the boss man, he's in London, I kind of feel like I can do whatever I want to do. I kind of feel like I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. So I'm starting with running back. Jeremiah Love was on the Rich Eisen show earlier today, and he was asked about the possibility of playing with the Chiefs.
Do you read mock drafts or you don't?
I see them, but I try not to pay attention to them.
Okay.
I see a lot of people saying I'm getting drafted to the Chiefs, Saints, saw the Giants, saw the Commanders, saw the Cowboys not too long ago. I'd be blessed to go anywhere. Yeah, but I try not to pay attention to that stuff.
The Chiefs are where, I'm seeing you a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously, playing football with Patrick Mahomes would be something, I'd imagine. You're from St. Louis, right? You're from Missouri.
Yes, sir.
The Chiefs,
I'd be close to home.
Yeah, you would be close to home. That's something you'd be up for, I imagine.
Yes. Yes, I would be, especially playing with Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I feel like he's the best quarterback as of right now that's in the league. I feel like he's top one. So it'd be an honor to play with him.
That was Jeremiah Love. He was on the Rich Eisen show talking about the possibility of coming to play in Kansas City. There has been a lot of running back conversation over the last handful of days. Now, some of that I think was started by Brett Veach, and Brett Veach mentioned wanting to be more explosive in the run game. I believe that was the quote of the combine for the Chiefs. The Chiefs want to be more explosive in the run game. I don't think you say that and then go out and sign Elijah Mitchell and wait till the 7th round to add to your run game the way that they did last season. I believe the Chiefs. I think they're going to spend multiple resources on running back this year. Are they interested in spending the 9th overall pick on a running back? Are they going to grab one of these free agent running backs that are available? That remains to be seen. But I do believe the Chiefs, when they talk about wanting to be more explosive in the run game. Now, I got a couple of things here that I want to read to you that may pique your interest a little bit. Now, I don't know what happened with this person, but we used to consider Albert Breer friend of the show. Albert Breer used to come on the show whenever I would call, hey, Carrington, happy to do it. Now, he act like he don't know me, and it hurts my feelings. But you know what? We traded Albert Breer for James Palmer, but I still got to read Albert Breer's stuff. So Albert Breer is down at the Combine. He is one of the top reporters in the National Football League. We're having a little fun, but I got all the respect in the world for Albert Breer. So he starts a story with just a bunch of notes from the Combine. And the headline of it is, there is an intriguing suitor for Kenneth Walker III. Now, I have been operating under the belief that Kenneth Walker is just going to go back to Seattle. Just because they've made the decision to not franchise tag Kenneth Walker does not mean they have made the decision to not re-sign Kenneth Walker. You can re-sign a player without reaching the franchise tag with them. We just saw it with Javonte Williams and the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't tag him, but they reached a deal with him, and they're going to move forward with him as their running back. Now listen to this. There is a player who is starting to emerge in conversation in Kansas City. Kenneth Walker is that player, according to Albert Breer. Walker, who might pair nicely with a high draft pick like Ohio State's Carnell Tate coming in at wide receiver, would be a great 1-2 for the Chiefs this offseason. I assume there will be other teams in the market for Kenneth Walker as well. These are the words of Albert Breer. Like the Broncos and Texans, they might also be in the mix. If Kenneth Walker is a true free agent, I think Kenneth Walker checks a lot of boxes for Kansas City. I think he is a very productive running back. He's been very healthy. He's 24 years old. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Now, I had kind of eliminated him from the conversation, but maybe you got to throw his name back into the mix, because if given the option between Kenneth Walker and Travis Etienne, I think I would go with Kenneth Walker. I think he's a little bit more of a physical running back out of the two. But I don't think you can necessarily go wrong with either option, especially if you are Kansas City. Now, someone asked me, what do I see as the ideal Kansas City Chiefs run back room? We'll get to that coming up throughout the course of the show, but I want to go through these possibilities for Kansas City. So that is from Albert Breer. A name that is starting to pop up as a possible marriage at the Combine is Kenneth Walker in Kansas City. Interesting. There was also a story today on ESPN, and the story is from a football writer that I really like. And it was one free agent destination for every team in the National Football League. So, of course, I clicked on it. And I typed in Chiefs. Kenneth Walker was the player that was named. The Chiefs need not just a running back, but a running back who can also serve as a pass-catching option for Patrick Mahomes. Last season, Kenneth Walker had 31 catches for 282 yards, 9 yards a catch. His ability to generate explosive plays could be a valuable part of lifting the Chiefs' offense back to the top of the league. Now, I want to be clear if the Chiefs go get Kenneth Walker. Nathan, you can cut this. You need to add something with Kenneth Walker. If you look at Seattle, it was not just him over the last 4 seasons. They got Zach Charbonnet, and they spent a decent resource on him, and you had Kenneth Walker, who you spent the second-round pick on. So the Chiefs are not going to be done at running back if they just go get Kenneth Walker. He has not shown you he's a guy that's going to give you 250, 300 carries. I also don't really think that's Kansas City's offense. But if you were telling me that they're willing to give out 220 touches to Kenneth Walker, sign me up for that next year, and I think that would solve so many problems on their offense. One disagreement that Rob and I have, and reasonable minds are always allowed to disagree, is I don't think the Chiefs are maybe as far off as other people do. I think what they need is just an infusion of youth. That's what I think they need. I think over time, we just look up and you start to look around, and this team's gotten kind of old in some ways. And the guys that they were counting on to be those young, explosive players, they maybe haven't developed in that way. You were counting on that to be Rashee Rice. He can't stay out of trouble. You were counting on this to be Xavier Worthy. He hasn't been that explosive player yet. Well, that's fine. You keep swinging. You keep taking chances. You take a Kenneth Walker at running back. You go get a wide receiver in the first or second round, and you continue to try to find that guy to pair with Patrick Mahomes and give him as many weapons as possible. I've been saying this for years. I do think the Chiefs have been asking Patrick Mahomes to just do too much. You're asking him to carry the ball. You're asking him to throw for 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, asking him to make up for an offensive line. Part of the job this offseason has to be, especially with a quarterback that is coming off a significant injury, the first one really of his career. Yes, the dislocated knee was a significant injury. He came back in less than a month. The ankle sprains, this is different than that. If this had happened week 2 of the NFL season, he'd have been done for the rest of the year. Part of their responsibility needs to be, how do we make the game easier for our quarterback? And a couple of ways you do that is just infusing some youth and explosiveness in this offense. So I'm happy to see that Kenneth Walker is being rumored to come to Kansas City. I'm happy to see them entertaining the possibility of wide receiver, because one of the reasons I think this team has slipped is they just don't have that haymaker ability anymore. And if you're not a defense that's going to get a lot of sacks, if you're not a defense that's going to take the football away, if you're not an offense that can get a lot of big plays, man, it's hard to win with just jabs. At some point, you got to mix in some hooks. You got to mix in some uppercuts. You got to have some big punches to put some guys down. That's what I want them to be thinking. I want them to be looking for guys who can put you on the mat, and they just didn't have enough of those guys in 2025. Coming up on the other side, as we continue to break down the combine, Binkley's going to join us in studio. We'll talk about this Kenneth Walker. There is a controversy right now when it comes to measurements in the NFL. There's a lot going on. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 of President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. For Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
What's good, y'all? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, Sack Master, and now your host of Free Range. This is where NFL meets real talk. Every week, I'm bringing you inside the game, from locker room stories to league-wide headlines. You want football IQ, locker room insight, and real conversations with the people shaping the league? Welcome to Free Range with Von Miller, where nothing is off limits and every down counts. New episodes every Wednesday. Listen and follow Free Range with me, Von Miller, wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm guessing that every day while the combine is going on, we're going to have our upcoming guest join us in studio just to make sense of all of this. Jay Binkley hanging around talking a little football with us. Bink, I want to start with this. So yesterday I had you on because I wanted to talk about the arm issue with Ruben Bain Jr. Did you see that we have some controversy? So last year, you remember, this was an issue with Will Campbell, the left tackle for the New England Patriots. They also said he had baby arms. So some teams had one measurement, some teams had another measurement, and there was some controversy about it. Now, I watched the Super Bowl, as many of you watched it. Maybe he has baby arms. Well, right now, Ruben Bain Jr., he finds himself in the baby arm controversy. So let me read to you guys. This is from Adam Schefter, basically after we got off the air yesterday. Some context on measurements taken throughout the week at the Combine. Measurements sometimes can vary for players depending on who they are taken by. To that end, there are at least 2 teams that measured Ruben Bain's arms at north of 32 inches. Hold on. Now, I'm not the smartest man, but how is your ruler different than my ruler? I understand a stopwatch being a little bit off, right? Like if you gave all 3 of us a stopwatch and we were timing somebody running, I understand how we wouldn't all get the same time. Tell me how I tell a player to stick his arms out and you got one number that's drastically different than what my number is. This is a significant difference. This is the difference in, if just based on what it is, if his arms are really 30 7/8 or 32 inches, that is a drastic difference. This is the difference in you potentially being a top 10 pick and falling into the 20s. What do you make of this controversy here when it comes to Ruben Bain? Because Adam Schefter is saying 2 teams are saying that all the reports are wrong, that is not the way that his arms are.
Well, this is an age-old controversy at the Combine. Between the Combine and Pro Days, things happen. Remember last year, or even the year before, the numbers are always different. And Veach just talked about it, too. You know, the Combine from the Pro Day. For example.
How is my question?
For example, Jalen Milroe. People were talking about his hand size last year, right? He went from 8 3/4 at the Senior Bowl to 9 3/8 at the NFL Combine. His hands grew. His hands grew from the Senior Bowl to the Combine, and you'll see him measuring probably at 32-inch arms at there. What happens is the agent gets in contact with you because the agents deal with these guys because they give them inside information on who's signing where. And, like, what are you doing to my guy? Not saying this is what happened, but does happen with people in the media or agents that get valuable information from agents. Like, what are you doing to my guy? You're costing him in the draft. So that's why you have a lot of this controversy, whether you want to believe it or not. And I'm sure people get their own measurements of Ruben Bain going forward.
But there's only one measurement, though. That's why I'm confused.
It is, and he's even said he has shorter arms. He even admitted that he has it. And not only that, but this goes back to October and stuff. We were talking about on character concerns with Ruben Bain's arms. I will say this. He was listed as 6'3", 275 at Miami. If you go to the bio, that's what he's at. He goes to the Combine, he's 6'2", 263. That's different for a guy that said, okay, well, if you can't do the edge, we can move you to the inside with the shorter arms. Well, 263 is much different than 275 as far as what you are. And then he skips all the Combine drills like we were talking about yesterday. Like if you're going to have shorter arms, you want to show your agility, show that you're more than just your arms. But Bailey and everybody else, competed in that. He decided not to. I get that. If he was going to skip that, should have just gone ahead and skipped the arms too, to let us all keep speculating on it as it is. But oftentimes the agent does get involved and he's like, what are you doing to my guy? What are you doing to my guy with that? But miraculously, he'll go to his Miami Pro Day and it'll be 32-inch arms.
Yeah, probably 33-inch arms. All of a sudden, he started eating his Wheaties.
And I've seen this before. We saw this with Jalen Milroe in the hand size.
Right now, we got our guy Jay Binkley joining us in studio. So I want to go through a couple of storylines that have popped up since yesterday when you and I got a chance to talk about this. So let's talk about Kenneth Walker. Albert Breer right now has the Chiefs as a interesting suitor for Kenneth Walker. On ESPN right now, they have one free agent signing for every team in the league. The team that they have Kenneth Walker going to is Kansas City. I thought that even though the Seahawks weren't going to franchise tag him, which would pay him $14 million.
And let's just transition, it'd be about almost 12, 11 something.
I thought what they were going to do is, all right, we're not going to franchise tag you, kind of like what happened with Javonte Williams, but we're still going to reach a long-term extension. Now, that's obviously still possible. He could still end up going back to Seattle. But if he ends up changing teams, if he ends up being a true free agent, I do think that Kansas City is going to be very seriously in play. I think the quote so far from this offseason from Brett Veach is, we need to be more explosive at running back. Normally when they say a sentence like that or a caption like that, they go out and do it. When they talked about their offensive line, when they've made those comments about their defense, they usually back that up in their action. I do think that Kenneth Walker, if he is truly a free agent, as probably the best free agent running back that's available, I think he's very much in play in Kansas City.
No, I think he is. When Veach says things, he typically is a little bit more revealing than other GMs. Like, I don't know if the Chiefs like that or not, but he's typically a little bit more revealing than others. I think there's a certain amount of smoke screen with what Veach says anyway, when you're talking about explosive runner, and you're sitting there at night and you want people, you're worried about the Saints sitting there at 8, 9, that's going to the Saints or the Chiefs, and get somebody to trade up and want that 9 spot for the Chiefs. Jeremiah Love starts to slide, and you slide down and still get a pick, 14, 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that area, if you have first-round grades for 16 or 17 guys. I think some of it is smokescreen. I think GMs don't tell you exactly who they like. It's very rare for a GM to come out and say, we like this guy. It also sets things up if they're not able to swing a deal for Kenneth Walker. And they'll sit there and, they're going to get Jeremiah Love now. They're 100% going to get Jeremiah Love. So it sets the GM up in a power play position that, well, he didn't get Kenneth Walker. He's definitely getting Jeremiah Love in this position. We'll see what happens. If they go out and get a Tyler Algier or Travis Etienne or Rico Dowdle, somebody like that, people will come back on it and say, well, they're not going to draft Jeremiah Love, which is probably true. It'd probably be a third-round running back at time with the Chiefs. But I think a lot of things that are said are positioning. And when you talk about explosive play in a running back situation, people are simulating that with Jeremiah Love. So I think there's some gamesmanship that goes on with Brett Veach. I wouldn't be surprised if he's all just sitting there trying to work himself back, to a 14, 15 trade somewhere like that. That happens. Veach also, the one thing too that he said that I thought was really interesting, he said we were in a maintenance mode, maintaining, meaning, hey, I'm going to still drive this car until the wheels fall off. I need new tires. I need to go get them, but I'm going to keep riding this thing until the wheels fell off. That's what maintenance reminded me. They were trying to get everything they could out of that football team. And now they're sitting here in a situation where they need so many things, like running back, like edge, like wide receiver. And this is what happens when you constantly throw one dart at wide receiver and you just draft Jalen Royals last year when you needed wide receiver. They've got themselves in the situation.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Jay Binkley going through some news and notes right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. You mentioned Tyler Algier. So the Atlanta Falcons writer for The Athletic put out what they think contract that he is looking for.
Yeah.
They said that they believe he is seeking a 3-year contract around $22 million. That's not a bad contract and not a bad price to me, in my opinion, for Tyler Algier. If you're telling me that you think he's worth about $7 to $8 million a year for a guy who I think is a very productive back, now you need to pair him with something else. Like, you need Tyler Algier and spend a third-round pick, in my opinion, at running back. But that's not a bad price, I think, for a good player.
Well, I think the original figures are somewhere around $3.5 to $5 million for him, so it's a little bit pricier than that. But you start getting up to $7-8 million a year, and all of a sudden you sit there, and that's kind of running back one money. That's not just getting a middle to a running back and then drafting one. You start getting in that category. Do I think that he would accept 3 years, 15? I do. That'd be $5 million a year. I think that's kind of the market for Tyler Algier, and I think that he's probably going to have to settle for that as well with an option for that third year. But I think 3 years, $15 million would be something that he might be interested in. I saw that too. $7 million, that's a lot for Tyler Algier. I mean, if he can get it, you can get whatever you can on the open market, but I think that'd be a little bit too high for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking just at the amount of money. I mean, that's a little bit less than what Devin Singletary is making. Like, if you're him and you sign that deal, I mean, you're basically making what guys are making on rookie contracts. I think he's going to probably command a little bit more than that. Like, if I'm him, I'm probably trying to get what Tony Pollard got. Like, that to me seems like a pretty fair contract if you're him.
Well, if Kenneth Walker has transitioned, you're looking at 11.5. So you're talking about a guy making 7 and 11.5. Is he $3.5 million less of a player than Kenneth Walker? And you can make the argument he is.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at it. Tony Pollard signed 3 for $21, got a $6 million sign bonus, and got 10 guaranteed. That seems to me to be in line. If I'm his agent, that's what I'm asking for. This is a guy who has shown he was a number 1 running back. They then drafted a generational talent in Bijan. He's been a solid number 2. He's a guy that you shouldn't worry about giving somewhere between 180 to 210 touches and could be very productive with it. 3 for 21 seems fair to me for him.
And I think also with the salary cap being officially down about $301 million, almost 302, I think teams are expecting around 297. So essentially, I think it's about $5 million more than what they're expecting. Like last year, they're expecting 270. They got 279. So if he did sign for $5 million a year, you kind of got that money with the money you weren't expecting from the salary cap. So you could work some of that in. It would just be a couple $1 million more if he ends up getting a high water mark at $7 million a year.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Jay Binkley going through some of these storylines right now in the National Football League. What do you make of the salary cap explosion? I was just looking through all of the numbers, and I think this is showing you, like, I think you can see a pretty clear gap of when the TV and gambling money really came in. I mean, the salary cap is up $22 million than it was last season. The salary cap is up over $115 million in the last 5 years. Like, we are seeing an explosion right now when it comes to NFL money. So I bring that up more, not to just talk about the business side for the NFL, but I do think there is going to be some initial sticker shock when it comes to these deals. Like, once the floodgates open up, I think it's going to be, wow, I can't believe they pay that. Well, hold on. You got to factor in now. The salary cap is at $300 million now. So just some guys are going to be the beneficiary of it. You know, not only quarterbacks are getting this money, some edge rushers are going to get this money. Trent McDuffie's going to get some of this money, maybe not from Kansas City, you know. So I'm more bringing it up of, I think you can clearly see the gambling, television, all of that money now being thrown into the pot and now being redistributed with the players. And I also think we're going to see there's going to be 2 to 5 big contracts that happen day one on March 11th. That's going to be a direct result of teams just got way more money to spend.
Just like a couple of years ago, we're sitting here and looking at all those crazy numbers that started coming in for wide receivers and what they were getting on the open market. 2021, the salary cap was 182.5. So just since 2021, so 5 years, you've gone from 182.5 to 301.2. And yeah, I think streaming's a huge part of it. They got 5 more games to sell. And not only that, they're expanding internationally this year. We got a game over in Australia and Spain. They're, what, 9 international games? And then you got 5 other games to sell in different packages. They've already dominated and decided we're going to play on Christmas Day on those Netflix games. So they're making a ton of money with their broadcast partners, and they're about to go to the table again with them to re-up the contracts they already have. But the NFL is printing money in basically everything they do except for the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get to $400 million probably in 3 years at the rate that we're going.
Easily.
Like, you just mentioned it. So the salary cap went down after COVID, understandably so. And then, I mean, since COVID, so the salary cap in 2021 was at 182. In 2022, it was at 208. Then it went to 224. Then it went to 255, 279 last year. Now it's at 301. I mean, we're talking about every year the salary cap adds somewhere between $25 and $30 million. Like, we are not that far off from the salary cap being at $400 million.
5 years, you've seen it go up $115 million.
Sure.
I mean, that is absolutely insane. Considering I think the NHL is $95.5 million for their salary cap, it's insane.
Yeah, the NBA is like 160 right now for the salary cap.
It's crazy money because everything they do turns to gold and things become bigger projects. I just think looking at what the NFL does, obviously the schedules become huge. I remember sitting here, Carrington, back in 15, 16, doing like a schedule release show at like 11 o'clock at night. It was after Vernon and the Royals. It was no big deal. But now it's becoming a big deal where people hit refresh and find out where you're playing in week 6 or week 9. They're trying to figure that out. And now the combine's becoming a different animal in of itself. Heck, you have TV stations from Kansas City going down to Indianapolis. Mitch Holthus admitted today when he's on with Dusty this morning, it's his first time going to the Combine in over 30 years of calling games for the Chiefs. It keeps getting bigger and bigger for everything they do, so obviously the money's going to go up.
I want to play this audio for you. This was Daniel Jeremiah. This is him talking about Ruben Bain and why arm length matters. Playing this for Binkley. He's joining us in studio.
Look at Melvin Ingram, was a great player with the Chargers. You look at that arm length number, 31.5, which is extremely low. Bain came under 31, which is very low. You don't see guys go traditionally as
what does that
top
mean
10
to you?
picks. So this is what I did. I have my thoughts on it as a scout, and I think every measurement matters, but I wanted to reach out to some defensive coordinators and see what they thought and how they would explain it. So I don't want to put words in their mouth, but this is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. What's the biggest issue with length? A lack of length. He said generally it's finishing. Not as good at extending and separating off blocks, not as good extending to get to the elbow or even wrapping around the quarterback. So then the follow-up question is, well, how would you overcome that, in your opinion, if you don't have length, like Bain? He said, I said leverage. He goes, for sure, explosion, using leverage to your advantage, having the ability to close that ground with your feet because you can't do it with your length. But this is a discussion that is happening all around this entire building. And CD, I know some folks at home laugh and say, I've watched this guy, he's unbelievable. He's a great player. We saw him all the way through the playoffs. Nobody could block him. Why does anybody care? Well, they do. It's part of the discussion, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to slide or he's going to go here or there, but it's being talked about.
So that was Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network talking about the arm length controversy right now with Ruben Bain. What did you make of that? How important is this, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's a concern. I think that's what people say. It's a concern. It's not that given. Like at pick 9, you want something given. You don't want, well, I like the motor. I like what he can do. I've seen him dominating games. You want the sure thing. At number 9, you want somebody you know is going to translate to the next level, and the odds are in your favor. Yeah, you could be the asterisk. You could be the outlier. Certainly, we've seen guys with shorter arms like Dwight Freeney be able to have success, but the top 10 sackers in the NFL all had arms 32 inches or bigger this past season. And also, one of the things the Chiefs like to do, they like to block the ball down. They like to keep their hands up, Chris Jones, et cetera, and knock the quarterback's pass down. That's a big part of what they do. And you start not to be able to do that as much when you don't have a link, so it's a perfect fit for the SPAG system. And that's a real question because it's about keeping the hands up and knocking the ball down and getting another down, put the punter out there for the other team. So it's a concern. And I understand there's the asterisk. I mean, we can play this game all day. We could play, well, Trent Dilfer's got a Super Bowl ring. Well, it was that defense of Baltimore is why he's got one. You know, Joe Flacco has more wins in the playoffs than Dan Marino. Does that make him better? Well, it's kind of like taking a chance on Ruben Bain. Well, the odds are you got to be a good quarterback. The odds are, yeah, you can slip through if you're Sam Darnold, whatever, and win. But chances are you need to be a great quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And I think this comes with Bain. He might be a great player. We don't know. I mean, he may take these other things, these other factors that make him a good player and be a good player. But I don't know if the Chiefs picking number 9 can take a risk.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Jay Binkley. Binkley, all of that sounds good, but do you know what time it is?
It is, Nathan, it would be random question time!
Binkley, did you know that they are going to introduce, starting March 1st, Johnsonville Dr. Pepper bratwurst? Is this something that you would be interested in? This is not a beer brat, because we've seen those before.
Yeah, that's fine.
There is no cheddar in the middle. This is dipped in Dr. Pepper. Does that sound like something that would interest you?
Believe it or not, no. Beer, yes. Dr. Pepper, I'd rather just have a Dr. Pepper to sip on and watch the game. I don't need a brat and Dr. Pepper. I would not be purchasing this.
Nathan, are you interested in the Dr. Pepper inspired bratwurst? Are you interested in, hey, maybe you're getting ready for opening day. You get you a pack of these. You got you a little baby grill. You're out right before you walk into Kauffman Stadium.
I can see it
and
now.
You got a couple of these on the grill.
I haven't met a brat I don't like. Pineapple brat, cheddar brat, beer brat.
Dr. Pepper.
I'm passing on the
man.
Dr. Pepper brat.
Dr. Pepper brat.
That's
Fansville, they have
gross.
it on Fansville.
I am curious. I
The
kind
Fayetteville
of want
commercial?
to try it. Like, if I went over to Nathan's house and they were like, hey, I just cooked up a couple of these Dr. Pepper brats, I'd be like, hey, let me try one of them. Let me get one of them links over there. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this.
Give me the Mountain Dew one.
You want the mountain? That's sick.
Disgusting.
That's sick.
Man, you're pushing the limits of Dr. Pepper brats.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how interested are you in the WBC?
Probably a 10.
A 10? You're fired up.
Oh, yeah, these lineups are ridiculous. I can't even imagine going to even watch batting practice with these teams. The lineup for Team USA is so good it would make the Dodgers blush. I mean, everybody's loaded on this roster. I can't wait for the WBC. It's a great event. All the rosters are loaded.
That's not the answer I was expecting from you.
Oh, the WBC, I'm all for that, man. You got 7 different Royals playing with different countries. I'm 100% for this. Old Bobby Witt Jr. for Team USA. Give me that all day.
Did you see that over the last 30 days, there has been a 300% increase in the interest in the movie Miracle on Disney+. On Sunday, it got 21 times more views than it would usually get on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the movie Miracle?
I think it's good. I like Miracle. I like that documentary they did as well. I think it's Netflix or something.
I haven't seen that. Is that worth checking out?
It is. It is. It shows you a lot behind the scenes type of things when they won that game. But the 1980 team was so fun. And Kid Morrow lives right here in Kansas City. What a great story. He's got to be one of the few Americans that ever won a gold medal in at least 4 championships in the pros. Because he won 4 with the Islanders after winning a gold medal. Who would be that guy? Michael Jordan's won a gold. He's won more than 4 championships. Kobe would fit in there, but how many guys have won a gold medal plus at least 4 championships? That list is very, very short.
Tomorrow, if you could just instantly become the best NASCAR driver in the world or the biggest hockey player in the world, which one would you rather be?
Well, they both get great checks, man. They do. You ever see these honeys with these NASCAR drivers?
I've never, not once.
The hockey players? I'm going to say hockey.
Nathan,
take my teeth.
Which one would you rather be?
If girls are what you're going for, hockey has got to be the answer.
Well,
I have never seen a hot
NASCAR
woman by a
too,
NASCAR driver.
Oh, you kidding me?
I must not watch enough NASCAR.
Oh, man,
I don't know
you
any
kidding
single
me?
wife
NASCAR,
of a NASCAR
drivers.
driver.
Let me tell you something. Both of them do just fine.
I just feel like I would take the route that doesn't get my face beat in.
Yeah, I think I would be a NASCAR driver if those are my 2 options. Like tomorrow, if you're like, you got to pick which one.
But where are you going to pee?
I don't know. I don't have the
500
answer.
miles.
I don't have the answer to that.
Man, I'll figure it out. The check will speak for itself.
Yeah,
I'll figure the rest of that out.
I don't know.
I mean, both of them have,
It depends.
You've done that on a road trip.
Hey, I get what you did there.
You like that one?
I get what you did
I
there.
threw that one out there. I'm happy you caught that one.
You'd be like the Pittsburgh Steelers that have 5 stalls. Did you see that when the reports cards came out?
I did see that.
The Steelers have 5 stalls in their bathroom for 53 men. 5! You kidding me? That is egregious. Throw them out of the league. That is terrible. 5!
Text line 913-586-7965. Someone wants to know, Binkley, what you did for Valentine's Day.
Nothing. Literally nothing. And next year I'll be watching the Super Bowl on
I think that's what we all are going to be doing.
But no, I didn't do any kind of love stuff or any of that. Nathan's married, man. He's got love
I
stuff.
don't want the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day.
I do. Why not?
Yeah, just the Super Bowl should be like February 7th. Like what's the goal? The goal right now of the NFL is to get the Super Bowl like March 1st.
True.
Like we're gonna go from Super Bowl directly into the brackets. Like, wait, hold on, what? How do we do this?
Did you do anything on Valentine's Day? I mean, there was no baths, there was no lotion like we talked about yesterday.
No, I didn't actually. I didn't have any plans on Valentine's
Good day,
Day.
man.
No.
Just a plain old day. I think I went and had some beer.
I bet actually.
I went by myself.
You know what I did on Valentine's Day? I bet on the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Perfect.
I am still very mad at Devin Booker. He cost me $10, so that was it. Cost me $10.
I bet on if I'd have a date.
You didn't hit that.
Didn't hit.
That is our guy, Jay Binkley, joining us in studio. Nathan wanted us to play more covers. I had to veto that idea. That was a terrible idea. Let's talk more about this Dr. Pepper bratwurst. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. Ford has just announced an additional $2,000 in bonus cash that we are passing on to you, our customers. Shawnee Mission Ford is going to combine that with our large discounts and top trade allowances to save you thousands. You can save up to $9,000 off MSRP on 25 Explorers, $7,000 off MSRP on 25 Broncos, $6,000 off MSRP on 25 Broncos, Bronco Sports, and $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Expeditions and F-150s. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Some flavors just take you to another place. Like the Filet-O-Fish, a crispy fish fillet made with wild-caught Alaskan pollock on melty American cheese topped with tartar sauce, all on a soft, steamed bun. It's crispy, flaky perfection. And right now, I can mix and match 2 favorites, like a Filet-O-Fish or 10-piece Chicken McNuggets for just $6. This deal is the catch of the day. So get to McDonald's fast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 73.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com. Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, a couple of things. We're not going to play any covers. We might bring that segment, that bit back. I don't have it in me right now to listen to any more of them. We heard enough yesterday. I enjoyed it. It was great for what it was. We are not here. We have been talking about Jeremiah Love, who was asked earlier today about his interest in playing in Kansas City. Here's Jeremiah Love. This audio is courtesy of Rich Eisen.
Do you read mock drafts or you don't?
I see them, but
Okay.
I try not to pay attention to them.
Okay.
Like I see a lot of people saying I'm getting drafted to the Chiefs, Saints. Saw the Giants, saw the Commanders, saw the Cowboys not too long ago. I mean, I'd be blessed to go anywhere. Yeah, but I try not to pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, the Chiefs are where, I'm seeing you a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously, playing football with Patrick Mahomes would be something, I'd imagine. You're from St. Louis, right?
I am.
You're from
Yes, sir.
Missouri.
Yes, sir.
The
I'd be
Chiefs,
close to home.
yeah, you would be close to home. That's something you'd be up for, I imagine.
Yes. Yes, I would be, especially playing with Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I feel like he's the best quarterback as of right now that's in the league. I feel like he's top one. So it'd be an honor to play with him.
That was Jeremiah Love as he sat down with Rich Eisen talking about the possibility of him playing in Kansas City. I do look at Jeremiah Love. I mean, we might debate whether or not you would use the 9th overall pick on him as a player. There's no questioning, A, what he did at college, and B, also how I think it is going to translate into the National Football League. He has been a dynamic running back these last 2 years. He had 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns as a sophomore. He had 1,400 yards and 18 rushing touchdowns last year as a junior. I mean, he was the best running back in the country. I think you could argue he was the second best skill position player in college football last year behind Jeremiah Smith, the very talented wide receiver out of Ohio State. He finished 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting last year. He was a phenomenal player. So any feeling I have about Jeremiah Love, it is much more based on the premise of, is he worth the 9th overall pick? I've always said I don't have any problem using a first-round pick at running back. It's just, where do you think the line starts? I got an issue using the 4th overall pick for a running back. I don't have a problem with you using the 24th overall pick for a running back. So I am kind of looking at the possibility of what you can get with Jeremiah Love. 9 is just a little bit too rich for my blood, especially when I can keep that premium asset and then go and potentially spend it on a Kenneth Walker, or I can go get Tyler Algier for basically the Tony Pollard contract. I just think there's better uses of the Chiefs' resources. So I'm not interested at 9, but I think we all agree Jeremiah Love's going to be drafted in the 1st round. I think he has a chance of being a very, very productive player in the league, depending on what team he gets picked by.
I'm anti-running back, but I'm glad the pendulum has swung back towards Jeremiah Love, a pro-Jeremiah Love stance amongst Chiefs fans. The guy is definitely worth the 1st-round pick. Now, 9 is usually higher than I would like to invest. I'm with you on that. But I think in a vacuum, this running situation with the Chiefs is so dire that if I knew Jeremiah Love would fix the problem, I'm fine taking him at 9 overall. The issue is, and these offseason conversations are great, they're fun. You can't go into the draft assuming Jeremiah Love's going to be there at 9. So even if you love Jeremiah Love, no pun intended, I think you've got to go in and spend a $7 million on a Gainwell or an Algier or an $11 million on ETN or whatever Kenneth Walker commands. You can't assume. What are you going to do if you pass up on those for Jeremiah Love and then he's taken at 8 by the Saints or whatever, one of those teams above you? So I think the Jeremiah Love thing isn't going to end up mattering in the end, but I think it's very fair to say that he is a 1st-round running back, and that the Chiefs are, while at the top end of where I'd like to take one, I don't think it would be a wasted selection like I would in most years.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Vernier is going to join us live from Surprise, Arizona. We'll take a quick look at the Royals as they are in spring training. We have not forgot about baseball. It's right around the corner, especially with the weather outside today. We got to talk a little bit of baseball. It's that baseball weather. I hope that we can lock this in right now. If you're telling me I can press a button and you're telling me this is what opening day is going to look like, sign me up. I certainly hope that that is the case. Can I read to you guys a really quick story? Because this is a story that I'm not going to say we all can relate to, but Nathan, do you remember your mom packing you a lunch back in the day? Maybe it was for a field trip. Maybe you didn't eat the school lunch. Your mom wanted to make sure that you had a nice, healthy, nutritious meal. Maybe she packed a sandwich, little chips on the side, little fruit snack.
Little fruit, yep.
You know, throw a little, maybe she gave you the real fruit snack. She gave you a couple of apples or orange, just try to make sure that you had a balanced meal as you were in there trying to pursue more learning.
We got a Go-Gurt if we were well behaved the night before. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So let me tell you about, there was a kid who is in South Fulton, which is a suburb of Atlanta, which is down in Georgia. And the lunch that he took to school got him on the news. Because in this lunch, it had your normal, had a little sandwich, had a little Lunchable pizza action, had a little Doritos. It also had a Cutwater lemon drop martini inside of it. Now, it's a little 12-ounce can, 11% alcohol by volume, which is twice what Boulevard Wheat is. The police, they had to tweet it out with this statement. This is not Capri Sun. This is not apple juice. That is a whole parent had a long night starter pack, they added. You guys got to tighten up. We know that mornings can be hectic, but your child shouldn't be the only one in cafeteria with the beverage that requires an ID, and they're just urging parents to take a little closer look. You know, you're running, you're just grabbing stuff out of the refrigerator. They just want to make sure that when you're packing your lunch and you meant to get the little Mott's apple juice, you meant to put a Sprite in there. They're just hoping that you don't put the Crown Royal Peach can in there. That's what they're hoping.
Well, number one, everyone who's had a Cutwater knows exactly why this is like extra funny. Like you thought it was a little canned cocktail. You thought it was a little something fun, and then it hits you hard. Those things pack a punch. There's something in them above their alcohol content that makes them just extra lethal. I can't imagine little Timmy at recess that afternoon. I mean, he was going crazy on the playground, man. Can you imagine sitting in science after a Cutwater is in your system at the age of, I don't know how old this kid is, 7, 8 years old? Oh, my goodness.
I will say with the Cutwater, for the few that I've had, this one right here, the lemon drop martini, that's dangerous. It'll sneak up on you because you'll drink the first, like, oh, this is good. Then you have the second one, you're like, whoa, hold on. Hold on now. You got to get your balance. You're kind of rocking. You're leaning a little bit. This is some powerful stuff here. And I don't know what happened to the parents. They didn't give you an update in the story, but yeah, you can't be packing the Cutwater lemon drop martini in the little one's lunch.
The Cutwaters are starting to get the reputation that like Four Locos had when I was young. Like except they come in these little cute cans that look like they're not lethal.
It is definitely the equivalent of a Four Loco, that's for sure.
You got to be careful.
100%. Coming up at the top of the hour, our guy Josh Vernier is going to join us on the show. You know what I determined? Maybe last night, I was watching the Lakers, and I don't really know why I was watching the Lakers. Like, that's not an activity I try to frequent. They're just not really that good of a basketball team. And you know what I realized? I realized that Luka Doncic is one of the worst things that you can be called. Like, we all have trigger words. Like, Nathan, you and I are in a professional setting. I got respect for you. You got respect for me. We are in a professional setting. But as men, as human beings, there are certain words that if I say to you, you get triggered, and it might be time for the fisticuffs. It might be time. Like, Nathan, you bleep, bleep, and you're like, oh, who are you talking to? And you forget that you're at work for a second. I think one of those words is starting to be Karen. Like, if somebody just came up to you out of nowhere and was like, bro, you're a Karen. What you call me? Hold on. Who are you talking to? You might have some fisticuffs. You know what I've determined? Luka Doncic is a basketball Karen.
It's got to be so annoying to play with him. Let alone just like some of the, obviously, we don't need to go into like the antics, but it's just like,
oh no,
I feel like,
let's go into the antics.
Let's go into them.
The whining is back at just peak / Nadir Dallas levels. It's every play. Just play, man. Not everything is a foul. And it's almost like, are you playing to draw a foul or are you playing basketball? Like, which one are you doing? Are you playing one-on-one and like with the refs, or are you playing a game? It's every single possession now. It's completely out of control. It's back to Dallas levels. It's just unwatchable. And I hate it.
Nobody wants to be labeled a Karen. Luka Doncic is a basketball Karen. We've played pickup with that guy, too. He never fouls anybody, but everything is a foul. You spend more time arguing the call than playing ball, running up and down the floor. Luka, come on now. We've been doing this for a while now. Luka's 26. You're not 19 anymore entering the league. You're not 22 just starting off. Man, you are the face and the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. Every time down the floor, he's got his hands out. He's arguing. He wants a foul call, Luka. This is unbecoming. You're too great of a player to operate this way. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Josh Vernier. The weather outside feels like spring. Let's talk a little baseball. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks is now giving you $50 bonus credit in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Now on Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup. Prize Picks also has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And with player stacks, you can also pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 bonus credit in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Now on Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup. Prize Picks also has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And with player stacks, you can also pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
If you're looking for more NFL draft coverage, go subscribe and follow the Character Concerns podcast with Bink and Chris on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
The weather is so nice. The weather is so beautiful outside that I started to get visions of spring. Like, I'm walking outside. I didn't have a coat on. I'm thinking, what's happened to me? It's February. Feels like spring outside. Like I need to be on somebody's patio. Why am I at work today? It started to make me think of baseball, day games. And then I was thinking, you know what? If I'm thinking about baseball and it feels like baseball, we should be talking baseball with Josh Vernier. Vern, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. So I don't know if you saw this or not, but the movie Miracle On Disney Plus, it had a 300% increase over the last 30 days. On Sunday, so the day of the gold medal game, it had 21 times more viewers than it would for a normal Sunday. So I'm going to ask you to remove Remember the Titans, because that is the #1 Disney sports movie of all time. If you had to suggest another one that you're like, I really like that movie, what movie would you suggest?
Oh, boy, you got to give me some options here.
You got Mighty Ducks, you got Miracle, you got Mighty Ducks 2, you got The Rookie.
Well, out of those, I would certainly go Miracle, yeah. Mighty Ducks was good in the moment. It's good if you're a kid, but if I'm having a conversation with an adult, I don't think I'm going to recommend D2 or Mighty Ducks. No, I would go Miracle for sure.
Right now, we're talking to our guy, Josh Vernier. Vern, what's the most interesting thing happening right now in Surprise, Arizona?
Bobby Wood Jr. just hit a 3-run home run off of a legitimate starter in Jeffrey Springs of the Sacramento A's. So right now it's Bobby Wood Jr. Hitting the leadoff, going deep, and getting ready to depart to take part in the World Baseball Classic with Team USA this weekend.
How excited are you for the World Baseball Classic? We had Binkley on the show earlier today. Yeah. He said that he's at a 10. I'm looking at the United States lineup. I'm looking at Canada. I'm looking at Mexico. I'm looking at Puerto Rico. I'm looking at all these teams. Like, a lot of baseball participation is signed up for this thing. The last time they had this, we got a great moment with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout going up against one another. Are you excited about the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, without a question. And, coming off the heels of the USA winning gold in hockey, getting excited for the Olympics in 2028, which will include Bobby Witt Jr., you have to imagine. And you mentioned that moment between Trout and Ohtani. That's what I'm most excited for. Are those moments. I'm hoping Bobby finds himself at the center of a few of those moments. Again, I wouldn't be surprised when this thing's all said and done that USA walks away with gold and Bobby Witt Jr. walks away as the tournament MVP. I understand Aaron Judge is the captain of the team and the most widely recognized member of the red, white, and blue, but you put them all on a field. I have the sneaky suspicion of number 7 with Witt on the back. He's going to stand out as just a little bit better at everything than almost everybody, maybe not named Aaron Judge offensively, but defensively on the base pass, he just, as you know, just jumps off the diamond at you. And, man, you see what Shohei's doing in Japan, the video of him just going through batting practice in front of a sold-out crowd where he receives a standing ovation after a just jaw-dropping batting practice. What excites me is the same thing that excites me about USA basketball in the Olympics, especially once we had the Redeem Team. The greats want to go, and the greats want to put on a show, from Kobe and LeBron to Steph in the most recent gold medal game to what we saw with Trout and Ohtani and what we'll likely see with Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal, Shohei again, Ronald Acuna with Team Venezuela, Michael Garcia, Team Venezuela. There should be a lot of great moments.
Do you think there's a chance for this tournament to get to an even bigger point? Because you mentioned the international competition. Is this something that they need to incorporate into the Olympics and maybe just take a break in the middle of the baseball season and really focus on international play? Like, baseball has really become such an international game. We got great players from all around the world. I feel like sandwiching this right before March Madness and leading into March Madness, it's not really giving it that room to breathe to be the event that I think it could be.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, once the Olympics start to have Major League Baseball players participating in it, to me, that kills the World Baseball Classic. Because if teams are being honest right now, and I think even Royals fans are being honest, when you watch Seth Lugo pitch likely in the opener for Team Puerto Rico, when you watch Michael Wacha likely pitch in the opener for Team USA, or Carlos Estevez is on the bump for the Dominican Ball Club, it's going to be like watching a scary movie because, boy, we haven't even started the 162-game march through the season. And even before this WBC, we've already seen a guy in Stephen Kolek go down with a strained oblique. So you're excited for it, and then it's just that push and pull of rooting for Team USA, but in the back of your mind, you have 6 months of Royals baseball still to come. If you make it during the All-Star break, just get rid of the All-Star game, right? my question then is, what type of participation do you get? Because I think the reason why so many of the big names are willing to participate at this point of the year is because those games, they believe, and I would tend to agree, get you much better prepared for the regular season and the high intensity of the 162-game grind. If you put it at the All-Star break where, we saw a few years ago when, Whit Merrifield and a bunch of the guys were like, yeah, if we were any good, we'd take the shot, but we stink, so I'm going to take the break and have a 7-day All-Star break. Guys enjoy that break. So there is some concern of if the Olympics become the event and it is during the All-Star break, sure, some of the younger stars will participate, but I would have to think by then a 29-year-old Bobby Witt Jr., a year and a half away from possibly opting out of his contract, might say thanks, but no thanks.
Right now, we're talking to our very own Josh Vernier. He is live from Surprise, Arizona right now. I'm feeling in a baseball mood with how great the weather is outside. I've seen that Jack Caglione has gotten off to a good start in the spring. Tell us a little bit more about it. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, yesterday hit a line drive, 120 miles per hour off of the bat. You see Shohei do that maybe once a year. Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz. I mean, the freakiest of the freaks are able to make that kind of solid contact. And this ball was no higher than 15 feet off the air, just an absolute frozen rope to the wall in right center field. And this came 2 days after he belted a 460-foot just behemoth blast for his first Cactus League home run. But you knew he was strong. I knew he was strong. You knew he was going to hit home runs or needs to hit home runs. So, it's nice that he's doing it, but when he steps into the box in Atlanta for that season opening series against the Braves, none of this is really going to matter. If he goes 0 for 3 with a trio of punch-outs, then you start to worry, does he get into his own dome? Furthermore, he's also a guy taking part in the World Baseball Classic, so he has an opportunity, like a Bobby Witt Jr., to really make his star shine even brighter, to take his Q score to a different level. With that power, with that size, with that ability, he is, again, the reason why you take him top 10 of the draft is because of that prodigious power. And, he's improved defensively out in right field. I still think that's going to maybe not be an adventure, but there's still going to be there's still going to be an adjustment period defensively. The way that I'm hoping this spring plays out is that he has some success in the World Baseball Classic, has some success in that first week of the season. But I could be wrong, but I'm not sitting here expecting Cags to run into 40-some-odd home runs or be an all-star this season. It could happen, but those strikeouts don't just go away. The strikeouts are still going to be present. But I would like to think that the home runs are going to be much more plentiful than they were a season ago as well.
I asked the question a couple of days ago, if I gave fans the ability to sneak a peek and see what the end of season numbers were for one position player on the Royals and one pitcher on the Royals, who would you pick? I felt like the consensus was Jack Caglione. That's what I picked. That's what Rob picked. Spec actually picked Jonathan India. What do you make of that decision? Like, if I could show you right now how one Royals player is going to do this season, he said Jonathan India because he believes that's going to tell him how good this offense is.
Hey, India has it in him to be a productive offensive player. I hope we get to see it. My answer would be, either Jack Caglione or Carter Jensen. My answer for the pitching side would be Seth Lugo. To me, those are the X, Y, and Z of this season. If those guys meet or exceed expectations, they don't even have to exceed it, but so long as they meet expectations, Caglione, the rookie Carter Jensen, and Seth Lugo, if they meet expectations, this team, no doubt about it, it's going to the postseason. Jonathan India right now, he's like quite a few guys I've watched out here. They really haven't done much to, not to impress me, but to make me take notice or to say anything on your show. Him, Isaac Collins, Kyle Isbell, fine players, but they're not doing anything all that eye-popping out here. Honestly, the way it stands right now, I wouldn't be all that surprised if second base turns into a platoon of sorts between Jonathan India and Michael Massey. But we'll see. That also depends on the aforementioned Isaac Collins, Kyle Isbell, and Jack Caglione, because if those guys don't hit, Michael Massey might be your left fielder. And then that makes Jonathan India your everyday second baseman. But no, I want to feel differently about Jonathan India than I did a season ago, but I've seen no reason to feel any differently about him.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. Have we moved on from the possibility of them making a trade? I mean, we're less than a month away from the start of the season. Obviously, they can make one at the deadline, but I feel like a lot of the conversation in the winter was about, well, at some point they're going to go pick up this corner outfielder and add to the mix, and we were kind of, I don't know, maybe paused with some of the Royals conversations because of it. Now that we're at spring training, now that we're about to go to the WBC in, 10 days, have we officially ended that conversation of the team that they have right now? This is the team that's going to be playing Atlanta to kick off the season.
Yeah, I certainly feel that way, because when you have the expectations that the Royals do, which is win the division, obviously go to the playoffs, and a floor of an above 500 season, if we're talking about a trade, you're not likely to trade something off your current club, right? Someone off this big league club that you believe is good enough to win the division. People want to say, oh, you could trade a Noah Cameron, you could trade a starting pitcher. Yeah. Keep in mind, Chris Bubic is a free agent at the end of the season, so if you trade a Noah Cameron, you're losing 40% of your rotation for 2027, and we're just entering the prime of Bobby Witt Jr. Royals have a chance to win a third straight winning season this year. So if you're viewing your team that way, you're likely to trade prospects, right? And the type of player that you would need to add, the impact that fans want, boy, how many general managers a month before opening day are willing to tell their fan base, we just traded away a bona fide difference-making bat for a bunch of prospects? Not many teams are willing to do that, and that would be the type of bat that this organization would be looking for. Although, keep in mind, Carrington, what we're saying in Kansas City is exactly the same thing they're saying in Detroit, in Minnesota, in Cleveland. Every team in this division needed that impact bat this offseason, and not one of them, save the Chicago White Sox, not one of the contenders in this division added that bat. So to me, it's going to come down to the trade deadline. Royals have let's see what this pitching staff looks like as we approach the deadline. Is Chris Bubic movable then, 2.5 months before he hits free agency? I think it's going to come down to Detroit and Kansas City in an arms race at the trade deadline, much like what we saw back in 2014 and 2015. I think that's where you go get your rental bats or whatever you might need after the first 3 months of the campaign.
I know this goes without saying. If that's the case, and this is going to be the Royals team, you and I both know this, they better get off to at least a decent start and not fall apart, because your job is going to be miserable in the first 14 days if this team gets off to a slow start, because the entire city will jump off of the bandwagon. You know how people get whenever the Royals get off to a slow start.
Yeah, but even if they get off to a 8-4 start, the 4 losses will weigh a lot heavier in fans' minds than the 8 wins. I like to believe that the pitching staff is going to keep you in games. So even if it is a 500 start to the season, what's ultimately going to win you the division, like I said, is that Seth Lugo stays healthy and gets back to his all-star form, and then Salvi has some protection behind him in the lineup, and Lane Thomas, Jack Caglione, Carter Jensen. I think it's a much better offense. Not the best offense, but I do think it will be the best offense in the division. I think it has to be the best pitching staff in the division. Bobby's the best player in the division. So, again, I think this is a division title winner so long as they can stay healthy.
That is my guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. Always great to catch up with him and talk a little bit of baseball. Vern, we appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend.
All right, buddy. You too.
Absolutely. That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show, talking a little bit of Royals baseball. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk more about the controversy. So we spent time yesterday talking about Ruben Bain and the arm length, but maybe that's not the case. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, We were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Ollie's deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
This has to be a joke.
It's no joke. Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices. Hurry in.
Ollie! Good stuff, cheap!
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
29 southbound, heavy into downtown from Armour with an accident reporting as you cross over into the downtown loop. 29 northbound, heavy at Armour as well. 71 northbound, slow into downtown from 22nd Street. 670 eastbound, heavy approaching I-35. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Really excited to be here with you on this wonderful Friday. I'm here. Nathan is here filling in for Rob. Rob is actually at a wedding, I believe. That's what he told me. So shout out to Rob. We'll catch back with him on Monday. So a couple of things that I want to get into in this segment. Let's start with this. We have some controversy right now at the NFL Combine. Now, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how real it is. I don't know how fake it is. I have no clue. All I can do is go off of the information that has been giving it to us. So last year, there was a controversy about how long Will Campbell's arms were. You guys remember Will Campbell. He was the guy getting beaten like a drum in the Super Bowl. The left tackle, remember him? He was getting beat in the Super Bowl. Well, one of the reasons that people were worried about him is he had baby arms. So the controversy last year is the combine measurement was not accurate, that the Patriots measured him and his arms were a little bit longer, and people were hot and bothered about this. Now, we were not paying attention to this. In Kansas City, we were concerned with, winning the Super Bowl, going to Super Bowls, playing in Super Bowls. We ain't really had a reason to be concerned about arm length and those kind of things. Well, when you win 6 games and you got the 9th overall pick, arm length matters. So we got to talk about arm length. So the reason I'm bringing that up is, so almost right after we got off the air yesterday, there was a tweet from Adam Schefter. And the tweet said, some context on measurements. taken throughout the week at the combine. Measurements sometimes can vary depending on who they are taken by. To that end, at least 2 NFL teams have measured Ruben Bain today and his arms at north of 32 inches. Now, that is a drastic difference because the official measurement was at 30 7/8. That is incredibly short. 32's average. That's normal. Now, I don't know. I didn't measure Ruben Bain's arms, but if you guys can explain this to me, because I don't get it. I said this to Bink earlier. I understand how the stopwatch can be different. Like, I understand how a guy can go run and the two of us are standing right next to each other and I hit go a little faster than you hit go a little faster than me. You stop it before I do, I stop it before you. Like, I understand how you and I could get different times with the measurement. That's why I like the laser. The laser don't lie. Let's put the laser there. Let's see the real actual number that you ran. Can you explain to me how the measurements can be off? Because I don't understand that. And maybe this is a bad analogy, but you guys know that I took sewing lessons. I sew. The measurements matter. It matters. That's the difference in you making an extra large, difference in you making a large. That's the difference in it looking off. Like, the measuring matters. You got to be precise in the measurements or it's not going to add up. But 6 inches is 6 inches. It should be the same on my ruler as it is on your ruler, on your measuring tape, on my measuring tape. 6 inches is 6 inches. Can anybody explain to me how, at this level, we're talking the NFL draft, we're talking about the purpose of the combine is to get accurate numbers. That is quite literally the purpose of it. What else are we here for? We got you working out. We got you talking with teams. The purpose of this is to get real information from all of these prospects at one time. You don't got to go to Texas or Ohio State or Florida. You go to Indianapolis. Everybody should be there. We're working out. We're doing this stuff. Ruben Bain didn't run. He's not lifting weights. He's there to talk to teams and be measured. He's not jumping. He's not running. He's not cutting. He's there to be measured. How can we have 3 different measurements for somebody? This blows my mind. I now don't know what to believe. What else have they been lying to me about? They can't even measure guys correctly. Put your arms out. Let me get the measure. Let me measure, and then we can go from there. What's happening? How does this happen?
The purpose of the combine is to, like, not be biased either. Like, we don't have Texas swaying the measurements or Miami swaying them or, like, putting out false measurements. The point is to go get one data piece of information. So it makes absolutely no sense to me either that you get multiple measurements on the same day in the same place or at the same combine. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think the funniest outcome of this, though, is the Jets taking Ruben Bain at 2 overall, and he and Will Campbell going head-to-head twice a year in that division for years to come. Just T-Rexes on the outside of that offensive line.
It's all right, Nathan. I'm reading the text line. CDOT, it depends on where you start the measurement. You're telling me that they in the NFL, they can't all be on the same page about where the measuring starts? That's all I'm saying. Let's have the NFL standard, right? Just like we have standards at everybody's job. It's not like there's words that Dana and Parks can say that I can't say, or there's words that Laszlo can say that I can't say. No, we all play by the same rules. We have all signed up to do not speak this way. You were telling me that the NFL, we can't just come up with, hey, in order for our records, this is how we're going to measure the 40. This is how we're going to measure the cone drill. It's not like the combine is a new idea. They were doing the combine when Deion Sanders was playing football. They were doing the combine when Bo Jackson was playing football. You're telling me they haven't figured out how to measure guys' arms correctly? When we have all the tools to do it correctly. It hasn't changed. Think about all the inventions that we have that people have improved upon. They've improved upon. You know one thing they don't need to update? The ruler. We don't need a new ruler. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, that's like saying the Chiefs training staff and the Jets training staff are the same. They're not. We're not talking about alternative methods on how you should treat a hamstring. The Chiefs and the Jets should have the same scale. Because if I step on the scale and it says one number and you step on the other scale, somebody's scale is wrong. I don't know what to tell you. We can have a differing opinion on how to do things. I'm sorry. 230 pounds in Kansas City should be 230 pounds in New York. That ain't how weight works. That's not how height works. That's not how shoe size works. All I'm saying is, can the Chiefs and the Jets get together and determine we're going to measure things the exact same way? I don't think I'm asking a lot.
Well, to your first point about not knowing, not getting it right because of, the NFL being this big entity, you're right. We know exactly what holding is in this league. We know exactly what a catch is in this league. We know exactly what forward progress is. They clearly define every little – okay, it's sarcasm. They have many of these issues in the NFL. But I don't understand how it's so far off is my point. If I hold my hands out to the side, the farthest part on my hand is the tip of my middle finger. I think players would be incentivized to say, hey, start the measurement there, even if there was no rule. So are they measuring from like their wrist at the combine and then their fingers at the pro? Like, how is it so far off?
I don't know.
It'd be different if it was a quarter inch,
Yeah, that's a significant difference.
We're talking about 3 inches different. You are measuring from a different place.
Yeah, that's a significant difference. Like a genuinely significant difference. So at this point, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Again, I understand the things that I'm good at and the things that I'm not good at. This is outside of my purview. I don't understand. This is why I don't dive into it. We can't even agree on how long the guy's arms are because you're telling me if his arms are shorter than this, then that's a red flag. But wait, maybe it's not. So this team thinks it's a red flag, but this team doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on. It says all of it's confusing. None of it makes sense to me. I really don't think I'm asking a lot. Again, there are some inventions that we have figured out how to do better. There's some inventions that over time we have figured out how to improve it. We have not figured out much different ways to measure things. We have different instruments used to measure things, but the ruler is the same. The same ruler that you had when you were a kid, you can give that to your kid. It still works. It is unchanged. It is unchanged in any way. I don't know how the Jets or the Chiefs or whatever team you want to throw in there, I don't know how they all don't figure out how to use it. Let me play this audio for you guys. Speaking of measurables, Darren Peterson, he'll be going to the combine at some point now. I mean, he can't play in the second half of the BYU game. There's no chance he's working out the combine. I mean, just no chance. Come on now. I mean, he can't play in the second half against Oklahoma State. We think he's going out and running suicides for free? We think that Darren Peterson is doing the little vertical leap? No
Look,
chance.
I don't know the date of the combine, but you can go ahead and schedule the sniffles for that day.
Yeah, Darren Peterson's out for that. There's no chance you want me to believe that Darren Peterson is signing up for the NBA combine or doing the 5-on-5 drills that they have. No chance. So Dan Wolken of Yahoo Sports, he asked a good question. If you're a program like Kansas, is it better for you to invest in the prospect of Darren Peterson? Let's say that Darren Peterson makes $3 million. Let's just pick a nice round number. Is it better to spend the $3 million to go get Darren Peterson or get 3 players who would cost you $1 million? This is the question that Dan Wolken asked. This is courtesy of Yahoo Sports.
What can we learn right now, considering how obsessed we all are with some of these young guys that are one and done headed to the draft, but their teams are not necessarily having the success that maybe we thought they would have? What's that say about the way teams are going to continue to approach these superstars in future years?
Yeah, well, I think it's very interesting in team building right now. If you're a coach of one of these top programs, how much do you want to invest in the Darren Peterson type of player? Because obviously he's super talented. And again, I'm not going to write him off. You've still got March to go, and that's the most important part of the season. And maybe he is reliable as they come down the stretch. But I think in retrospect, Kansas probably would have been better off taking whatever amount of money it is they invested in Peterson and maybe spreading it out to 2 or 3 other guys that could really help them with their depth and maybe give them a little different look. Obviously would be a lot more reliable in the lineup than what Peterson's been. So these are very, very important philosophies on team building. On the other hand, you look at Duke, and they've been very reliant on freshmen and one and dones, and it's worked for them.
Now, I know we've had some fun at the expense of Darren Sniffles Peterson. I know we have.
DNP.
And I know that I've joked that his hamstrings are like iPhone cords. And there was a time that I was calling him Darren Porter Jr. Like, I know that I've participated. I'm not going to make it seem like I haven't been part of the problem with Darren Peterson. I have. Now, some of that is the show and the entertainment value. Some of that is being a Missouri fan. And some of it is just boredom. We ain't got nothing else to do right now. So you know what? We're going to talk about you. That's what we're going to do. But let's not get it twisted. If the number 1 high school basketball recruit calls you and says, I want to come play at your university, you have to sign that player. Please, let's not get this twisted. So I know that KU is interested in this Tyron Stokes kid. He's the number 1 recruit for next year. The kid can play. He's got it down to 3 schools, and Kansas is one of them. I know that the Darren Peterson experience hasn't gone exactly how you visioned it going. And you've seen little glimpses and pieces of it. And when it's worked, it's been fantastic. And it's been confusing. It hasn't been communicated. I get all of that. I do. I really do. There's no question that you have made the right decision if you were Kansas. There's no question you have made the right decision. He's the number 1 potential overall pick in the draft. He wants to play basketball at Kansas. I do think he is injured. I believe that. I 100% believe that Darren Peterson is injured. Now, has he communicated it effectively? Has he shown the ability to really push through at times? Could he try a little bit harder at times? Sure. But there is no, well, would you rather have Darren Peterson or more depth? You rather have Darren Peterson on your team 100%. And every year that the number 1 high school basketball recruit is considering coming to Kansas, you should take him every single time. Because, yes, this time it has not worked out. You could have got A.J. DeBansta. You could have got Cam Boozer. That's who Tyron Stokes might end up being. He might end up being that player. You wouldn't have that guy on your team? This is a very unusual example. I don't think that this is some look into the future and that every year there's just going to be a plethora of freshmen that have these problems. That's not happening now. Like, why aren't other players getting an idea of what's happening with Darren Peterson? Do you think it's fun? I'm asking honestly. Do you think it's fun being Darren Peterson right now? Yes, he is getting an insane amount of money. All of them are getting insane amount of money. It's not like Darren Peterson's the only one getting paid and Cameron Boozer is doing this for the love. It's not like Darren Peterson's getting paid and the Darius Acuff kid at Arkansas is getting Walmart gift cards to play basketball there. All of them are getting paid. Do you think this looks fun? Like, if I'm A.J. DeBansta, do you think I'm thinking, man, you know what? I should be doing what Darren Peterson's doing. Darren Peterson, he's getting paid and he's only playing in half the games. No, I don't think this is what anybody has intended for this experience to be like. But to answer the question for Dan Wolken, this isn't even a question. Yes, you take Darren Peterson's talent every single time and you roll the dice that it is going to work.
I'm definitely with your conclusion, but I do hear the question from a team building perspective. If we are talking about the NBA or the NFL or a league with a salary cap, right? Would you rather have 3 guys that are worth $1 million who are maybe more role player-ish, or would you rather have a superstar that's often injured? They could just go sign another superstar if they want to. I know there's probably a budget and the boosters are paying a certain amount of money. There's nothing stopping Kansas from going and just replacing Darren Peterson next year or signing multiple guys for $1.5 million, $2 million. So I don't understand the question at all in the context of name, image, and likeness. But I'm with you. Like, yeah, you'd much rather have Darren Peterson than a whole bunch of role players, of course.
Yeah, give me the guys. Give me the guys every time. I will take a college basketball team that give me as much talent as possible and a coach like Bill Self, and we'll figure it out every single time. Every single time we'll figure it out. So, yeah, I mean, let's see how this ends. I mean, March is here. Like, I know it's not technically March, but we're at the 27th of February. They have one game left in February. They play Arizona tomorrow on the road. I mean, I'm not picking Kansas to win. Maybe you're picking Kansas to win. I'm not picking them to win this game. And then we're here. We're here. The Big 12 tournament is right around the corner. Like, right around the corner. Like, March 10th. We are, 11 days away? 12 days away from March Madness? So the weather that we have outside right now, I want you to think about you drinking a Miller Lite at McFadden's, because that's less than 2 weeks away. Like, we're here. All of the conversation that has surrounded Darren Peterson can end really, really quickly. They got, 2 games left? 3 games left? They got Arizona State, so they got the game Saturday, Monday, and they come back home next Saturday for the game that they got scheduled against Kansas State. And then we're here. If there is a period in which Darren Peterson is going to lock in, it needs to happen over the next 32 days. That's all you need if you're Kansas. You don't need to do that. You're not doing this for another 50 days. You got 30-something more days left of this conversation. You got 3, maybe 4 more weekends of this conversation. So you got to roll the dice and hope that he can stay healthy, hope that he can lock in, hope that he can play 28 to 32 minutes a game for the next 10 to 12 games, because that gives you your best chance of doing something special, something lasting in March.
He has the chance to erase all of those conversations. Yes, he also has the chance to affirm everyone's opinion, which is that he doesn't push through injuries or he's making something up or whatever you want to go with. I'm going to err on the side of, until proven otherwise, when the lights turn on, when it's March, when it's time to lock in, he will do so. He'll either push through those injuries, or to those people who think it's completely fake, he'll roll out there. I can't see him keeping the same formula when the games really start to matter on the bigger stage.
My advice to Darren Peterson, this is free advice. If you get hurt during a Big 12 tournament game or a NCAA tournament game, you got to make them carry you off the court. Like, I'm laying there, I'm putting on an acting display you've never seen before.
Paul Pierce.
Because I'm telling you, at this point now, the absolute worst thing that can happen if you're Darren Peterson is what happened in the Oklahoma State game. The worst thing that can happen is what happened to you right before Arizona. That time's over. The tournament is about to start. We're about to start reaching single elimination. We're starting to reach there is no tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, you missing the Arizona game at home. I mean, it wasn't good, but all right, we got another game. There ain't too many other games for Kansas. They are not guaranteed too many more games this season. They're guaranteed 3 more games in the regular season. You're guaranteed 1 game in Kansas City and 1 game in the NCAA tournament. So at a minimum, we know Kansas got 5 games left. Now, I think they're going to have more than that. Don't get me wrong. But that's all you got left. So depending on Darren Peterson, depending on Melvin Council, Trey White, all of those guys, we will see if the number is 5 or 6 or if the number is 11 or 12. They have the ability for the number to be 11 or 12, but they need Darren Peterson, I think, to hit that ceiling of how many games they have left in their season.
They definitely do. And to your point about him, if he gets injured in the Big 12 tournament or in the NCAA tournament, yeah, I mean, even if he really pulls a muscle or something, I need you to try to gut it out, and then I need to see you on the sideline with someone rolling your leg out. I need you to sub back in.
I'm telling you, if he gets hurt, they need to bring a gurney out. He has to, in front of everybody, show I cannot physically continue, because I hear what you're saying. If he points to the game and he's getting the Theragun for the rest of the second half as they are in the NCAA tournament, he will never be able to go back to Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
You see how guys come back to Kansas. It's love. Oh, look, hey, it's the Morris twins. Hey, it's Sharon Collins. Hey, if Darren Peterson ends his Kansas basketball career on the sideline with the heating pad and the Theragun, he will never go to the Hawk again. He will never be allowed at Pizza Shuttle again. I don't want that for the young man.
People in Lawrence react to Nick Collison the way they react for Shohei Ohtani in Japan. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and if Darren Peterson were to care about his reputation, which could, in a realistic sense, translate to his draft stock, right? Because at this point, I think he's still the presumptive number 1 pick. But if this happens in March, it could affect him. So I do think that, yeah, it needs to be more of a spectacle, more of a real injury if that were to happen in March, if he cares.
Coming up on the other side, we had an office debate. Who is more popular around town? Is it KC Wolf or Slugger? I'll give you my opinion. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted sodas and floats, it's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks is now giving you $50 bonus credit in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Now on Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup. Prize Picks also has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And with player stacks, you can also pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Spring getaway on the calendar? Start your trip stress-free with Park & Go, open 24/7 with all covered parking, so your car's protected from the elements. Quick shuttle service right to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned and operated.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
North KC, 29 southbound slows from Armour to the Bond Bridge. 70 westbound heavy out of downtown from 35 to the state line. 670 eastbound heavy from Wyoming Street into the downtown loop. East side, 70 eastbound gets heavy. 435 slows past the Blue Ridge cutoff. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm going to take you guys into some of the conversations that we had on the show today. Conversation number 1, we were debating on March 1st, so in 2 days, Johnsonville is introducing a Dr. Pepper brat. Now, I've heard of, cheddar cheese brat. They got the cheese kind of infused in the middle. I've heard of the beer batter brat before. I never heard of the Dr. Pepper brat. This is new. Now, let me tell you, I don't know if I would go to the grocery store and buy these and throw them on the grill. But if I was at the function and you were telling me that these were available, I'd give it a try. If you're telling me they were serving these at Kauffman Stadium, I don't know how much a brat is. What, $6? I'll go out there and I'll give me a Dr. Pepper brat with a little Aramark bun for $6 and give it a
13,
chance.
but I hear you.
I'll give it a chance. I don't know if I'm going to get a second one, but yeah, I'm curious enough to give it a try. So that was the first thing we were debating, if you would get the Dr. Pepper brat or not. The second thing we were arguing, we were having this debate, we were going around. Now, we would have had this debate with more people, but Rob, slacker, took the day off, not here, not working. Spectre, slacker, took the day off, not working. I'm here every day. No days off for me. What's PTO? I don't know what that is. I'm Cal Ripken. Rob is Darren Peterson. That's the difference between him and I. That's the difference. I'm Lou Gehrig. I'm here every day.
Rob and Spec, too? Like, it's from the top down here. Like, what kind of message are they sending? Yeah, it's unacceptable.
It's a great question. Because I'm here every day. Cal Ripken Jr., man. Ain't missed a day. Not one. So the debate that we were having is who's more popular around town? Is it Slugger or KC Wolf? Now, this is my argument for Slugger. This is what I said when we were having this office debate. This is what I said. You don't really stop and interact with KC Wolf at Chiefs games. You really don't. You see him. Now, I haven't seen this in a while. I imagine they don't do it anymore. But, Nathan, do you remember where they would have a fan of another team's jersey, like, run onto the field? And then out of nowhere, KC Wolf would just go up and just stone cold stunner, people's elbow drop, Macho Man Randy Savage right there. Everybody would go crazy. Everybody would go crazy. That's kind of all I really know of KC Wolf's involvements during the game. Now, you see KC Wolf out in the community, helping out, little Red Friday, passing out flags and whatnot, but you don't see a whole lot of KC Wolf during the game. During the Royals games, it's different. KC Wolf sings the seventh inning stretch. KC Wolf does the T-shirt toss, shoots the hot dogs off in the gun. He throws the ball to the kids over at the Little K. Slugger is a part of the experience at a Royals game. Slugger walks up and down the aisles. Everybody is taking a picture with Slugger. Every single person listening, you have taken a picture with Slugger or you have held the camera while somebody else is taking a picture with Slugger. Slugger's like your best friend. He's your long-lost neighbor. He's your pal. I think Slugger's more famous than KC Wolf is around town. I do. I think he's a little bit more famous. Like, I think if you were telling me that Slugger had a booth at a convention and KC Wolf had a booth at a convention, I think more people will go up to Slugger. I think he'd be more popular. I think more people will want to dap him up. I think more people will want to talk to Slugger. I think your kid wants to hang out with Slugger more than he wants to hang out with KC Wolf. I answer Slugger.
Slugger is more well-liked, but he is nowhere near as well-known as KC Wolf. The Chiefs have KC Wolf all over social media. We have KC Wolf in Europe. We've got like 4 versions of him. One's in Ireland. One's down in, is it like Brazil or Argentina? One's in Germany. KC Wolf is all over the place. The text line said it as well. He's in the community. Who do you know that has a favorable opinion of KC Wolf? And I don't mean the guy in the suit. Everyone loves those guys.
You want to know why? It's the eyes. His eyes, he's not trustworthy.
Everybody has looked at you and said, hey, what's up with that thing?
He got real googly eyes. I don't want googly eyes.
Is he okay? Also, how does he tie into the Chiefs? What does the Wolf have to do with... No.
All of it's confusing.
You identify Slugger with good times. He's the king of the jungle, all right? He's easily identified with the team. KC Wolf, bad times. He's there for the TV. He's banging his head against the field goal post when the other team scores a touchdown. Slugger, all he does is run on the field after the game, wave a flag if the team wins, and come through and take pictures with the kids. Nobody doesn't like Slugger. Everyone's creeped out by KC Wolf.
Somebody said KC Wolf shows up in more schools than Slugger because KC Wolf just has more free time. He only got to be at the stadium 10 times. Slugger's got to be there 81 times. Rain, snow, sleet, hail. It don't matter. I got to be here. Those super hot July baseball games that you think to yourself you would never be at those games, you know who's there? Slugger. You know who's there when the Royals are terrible and they've been eliminated for the last 2.5 months. You know who's out there? Slugger. Holding it down for you. So, yeah, of course. Of course Casey Wolf he has time to do all these things. Yeah, when you only got to work once, twice a month, when you only got to work the first and the last Sunday of the month, yeah, you got more free time to go around and make. Somebody said you can stop at this and stop at that. Yeah, Slugger's got an 11-game homestand. He's out there every day, shaking kids' hands, kissing babies, taking pictures.
And I also think Casey Wolf's just like a narcissist. He's shaking his hips around. He's got to run out of the tunnel with the team when they're in the Super Bowl. Like, what is that about? Slugger is walking around the outfield on hot days, like you said, kissing babies, shaking hands, signing autographs. He's a man of the people. Casey Wolf looks out for himself. I'm tired of the Slugger slander on the text line. It's all Casey Wolf. It's 100% Casey Wolf.
I'm with you, man. 100% with you. 913-586-7965. Right now we have a poll question up. Who is more popular? Is it Casey Wolf or Slugger? Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about the grades that are out for the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys remember the NFL players, they do an anonymous survey, and we have the results for it. We'll go through it coming up in just a little bit. Nathan, I have no clue what made me think of this morning as I was driving into work. Do you know how crazy it is that the most popular basketball player in the world, the most popular basketball player in the world, maybe the most popular athlete in the world, maybe the most popular human being in the world, one day woke up and said, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, what do you want to do? I want to play baseball. Just in the middle of your career, you've won 3 championships. They've only had like 7 Air Jordans at this point. Mike just one day woke up and said, you know what? This basketball thing, it ain't really doing it for me no more. Well, what are you going to do? I mean, you got to work. You know what? I'm just going to go play baseball. Everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. That, great. And I was just trying to think, you know how crazy that is? Just think about how crazy. Can you imagine if Patrick Mahomes, after his 3rd championship, was just like, you know what? This football thing, it's okay. I mean, I've done it, you know? But what I really want to be a pitcher. So I'm just going to quit this and just be a pitcher. And I'm not going to like instantly go to the Royals. No, I'm going to go to Wichita and play baseball. What? What do you mean? That happened in our lifetime. I don't think we talk about that nearly enough. That's what randomly hit me this morning. How does this happen? Like one day Steph Curry just woke up and just thought, you know what? I'm tired of doing this. No, you know what? I want to go to NFL Europe and see if I can play. That happened in our lifetime.
It's almost like there was more to the decision than just Michael Jordan making that decision, isn't it? At the age of 30, off of 3 straight championships, it's all. And you know, I won't go any farther than that. But yeah, imagine LeBron and D Wade after year 3 in Miami going back to back. There's like, you know what? People have always said LeBron could play receiver in the NFL. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to join the CFL now. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
So you're saying you think that Mike was running from FanDuel?
Hey, I didn't say that.
Okay, I mean the text line. That's what the text line is saying. The text line saying he's running from FanDuel.
No, I'm saying it's like there's something else involved. As to what that something else might be, yeah, I'm not saying anything. No, sir.
I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. We got to give Mike credit. Mike was 31 years old when he did this. Mike is the same age that Patrick Mahomes is right now. The same age. If Patrick Mahomes right now just said, I'm done playing football, well, what do you want to do? I want to go to Northwest Arkansas and see if I can make it. He played in 130 minor league baseball. He played more minor league baseball than Jack Caglione did. Mike played more minor league baseball than Jack Caglione. He had 500 plate appearances. Now, Mike wasn't good.
He probably hit about as well as Cags has so far in the big leagues, too.
Mike was not good. Mike hit 202 with a 289 on-base percentage. He hit 3 home runs. You had to be grooving a fastball for Mike. Mike struck out 114 times in 127 games. That man was just striking out left and right. He hit 3 home runs. You had to just groove a meatball down the middle of the plane to let Mike smack that out of the park. You give up a home run to Michael Jordan in Double-A baseball, there's no chance you had a baseball future after that. Once the guy who used to play point guard for the Chicago Bulls hit a home run off you, he was doing that 3 weeks ago. Now he just showed up. He's hitting home runs off you. You got to go be an accountant. You got to go. Baseball is not your profession anymore. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to go through the Chiefs' grades. They gave the most fitting grade for Matt Nagy. I'll tell you what it was. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
169 highway southbound slows before the bridge, stays heavy into downtown. 70 westbound slows out of downtown from 35 to the state line with construction. 670 eastbound slow into downtown from Wyoming Street. 35 northbound also affected with this. You're heavy from Southwest Trafficway up into the downtown loop. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 of President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Xfinity Tech Support. Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
Hey, Royals fans, it's Vern, and the Hot Stove Show is back Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, so the NFL players do an anonymous survey, and they rate things: treatment of families, field conditions, food, strength coaches, training staff, all of those things, right? All of those things get graded. They then take a cumulative, and they tell you where you're ranked. Now, the Chiefs are ranked 27th among the 32 teams in the National Football League. Now, I don't expect you guys to care about that. I don't expect you to care that the Chiefs got an F when it comes to their locker room. Now, I've been to their locker room before, and let me tell you, it's pretty bare bones. Now, I've never been inside Rockhurst High School's locker room. I'm guessing they got a little better one than the one the Chiefs have. It's as standard can be. There's no frills. There's nothing. It's just, hey, here's your locker. Here's your stuff. That's it. I don't expect you guys to care about that. They make too much money. They're about to get a new one. They got a new practice facility, new all that stuff. You don't care. That's fine. But what I did find very interesting was they then broke it down to individual grades. So for head coach, the Chiefs gave an A for head coach. That's kind of what I expected, right? Like, who doesn't love Andy Reid? I'd have been stunned if the Chiefs players gave their head coach a D. I would have been floored if that had been the case. Special teams coordinator, B. All right, makes sense. Dave Tobe, been there a while, very well respected within the league. I understand why people like Dave Tobe. Defensive coordinator, A. Makes sense. Everybody we know, in Spags we trust. You guys remember the T-shirts. I expected Steve Spagnuolo to be graded very well. He's been doing this a long time. A lot of respect in the league. People think he should be the first coordinator to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is wild when you think that coordinators have not been introduced into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Then they went to offensive coordinator. Now, I just told you that head coach got an A. General manager, B+. Special teams coordinator, B. Defensive coordinator, A. You know, I understand that the Chiefs players, hey, we like this organization. It's a great organization. It's been great to work for. We've had great success. I got very positive feelings. When it came to offensive coordinator, C+. Now, I've tried to be a Matt Nagy defender in some ways, and I know that I have been mocked, ridiculed, made fun of for being a Matt Nagy defender. I don't think Matt Nagy is nearly as bad as you guys think he is. I think some of it has been circumstances. Hasn't really been given a whole lot to work with when it comes to the offense. I can't defend this. C+. And then I look at the offense that they've trotted out the last couple of years. You know what rating I would probably give it? C+. Their offense is just fine. You're not getting on punishment for getting a C+. You also aren't getting ice cream for getting a C+. You're not grounded for a C+. Like, if you bring home a C+, I mean, you might get a little bit of a talking to, but you know, you're not being grounded. You can still play basketball. You can still play the video game. You can still go outside. They're not taking your phone away for a C+. I hope you don't think that you're getting anything extra for a C+. They just had a ho-hum offensive coordinator. Now, I'm just going to guess. I don't know. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to assume that this grade is going to be noticeably better next year. Noticeably better. And maybe it's not the improvement that I wanted to see. You guys know my stance on EB. This was not the move I would have made. But if the players are going to respond to it in a much more positive way, maybe that's worth the move. They respond to the head coach. They respond to the general manager. They respond to the defensive coordinator. They respond to the special teams coordinator. I mean, I don't really see it during the games, but they seem to like Dave Tobe. They seem to like him. They didn't really have a whole lot of favorable things to say about your boy Matt Nagy. And then when I go to position coaches, also got a C+. Makes sense why they removed so many of them. Now, when I'm looking at the grades, it now makes sense where the Chiefs looked at their team and said, where do we think we need to make changes? They didn't make it a head coach. They didn't make it a general manager. They didn't make it a special teams coordinator. They didn't make it a defensive coordinator. They made a change at position coach, which they got a C+. They made a change at offensive coordinator, in which they got a C+. They made a change in locker room. They're moving into a completely new locker room. A lot of the things that the players were unhappy about last season, the Chiefs have said over the last 6 months, it's okay. We'll fix it. We'll get you right. We'll get you a completely new locker room with all the gadgets that you love. What do you want, an iPad in here? Oh, we'll get you that in the new one. I mean, we're not going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it, but we got you coming. Now, all of you are not going to get to go to this new locker room, but Pat, hey, we got you coming in a couple of years. We got you coming. Hey, Nick Bolton, you keep working hard. We're going to get you that new locker room at some point. Creed Humphrey, it's okay. You'll get to use it. You got about 4 or 5 years, but don't worry. We're going to get you the necessary improvements that you need. But, yeah, looking at their team and where they thought they were average at, I mean, they got those guys out of there quickly. Running back coach out of here. Wide receiver coach out of here. A lot of the position coaches got fired. The offensive coordinator, they didn't fire him. They just didn't renew his contract. That's how they're saying it.
The text line, surprisingly upset about the fact that that this exists. And I would just like to remind them the survey is something the players are asked to take. Chiefs players are not like openly complaining about the locker room that they play in. This is like an NFL conducted survey. I would say C+ is the perfect grade for Matt Nagy. Now, on the field, I don't know if that was a C+ offense. I know that was not a B-level special teams unit. I know that for a fact. But I think if your stance is the offensive coordinator doesn't matter, it's Andy Reid's offense, we live and die as Andy says, then I think a C+ makes all the sense in the world. You don't matter. You're just kind of there. 77 to 80% or so, 79% is a C+, right? So that feels right. A C+ is, oh, man, your contract's up. Oh, well, maybe we can work something out. But not, we're firing you. It is, hey, some other team should hire this guy. He's been really good, but then not re-signing you. That's what a C+ is. It makes all the sense in the world to me.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, how in the hell have they not upgraded the locker room? It's a problem every year. They're making money hand over fist, but they can never upgrade it. That's because they would have to pay for the upgrade.
You are upgrading the locker room, my friend.
I don't know what you think this is. Why would Clark pay for the upgrade so they can have a newer, nicer locker room when the state of Kansas is signed up to give them? You better make it work. You better make it work. We gave you all the essentials you need in this locker room. You got a cubby, you got a place to hold your stuff, and you got showers over there. That's all we're required by law to give you. We're not giving you that. So yeah, that's why they haven't upgraded it. They got to pay for it. You remember a couple of years ago, we found out they didn't have air conditioning in the practice facility. And then the only reason they changed it, if you remember, was Patrick Mahomes went over there and started to complain about it. You know how it is. Somebody lower in the company complained about it, and then they didn't get anything done. And then you were like, you know what, Pat, you go over there and tell them. That's exactly what happened. James Winchester went over there and told them that the air was out. And they told him to shut up and get back to work. First off, they said, who? That's what they didn't even know who he was at first.
James Winchester deserves better than that.
I'm telling you, James Winchester went over there and asked them to fix the air, and they didn't listen to him. And the rest of like, hey, Pat, you go tell him. Yeah. You go tell him. And Pat went over there like, hey, guys, Pat, we'll get this fixed. Do you need anything else? You know what? Why don't we restructure? Call your agent right now. Let's restructure your contract. We want to make sure that you're happy. So, yeah, that's how they haven't upgraded the locker room. They haven't upgraded the locker room because you're going to pay for the upgrade to the new locker room.
Austin Reeder's complaints fell on deaf ears for sure about St. Joe. Now, those players, by the way, used to talk about St. Joe and those dorms up there like basic training, like they were going off to some foreign land. Those players talk like it's the worst thing in the world up there at Mo West. I have no idea what's going on up there. To everyone listening, don't worry. In 2030, on February 27th, 2032, the Chiefs are going to get an A+ in their locker room.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Okay? And all you know our hard work and the taxpayers' money, it'll feel great.
And that's something you can take pride in. Honestly, that's something you can take pride in. Like some of these stats, you don't got to worry about Clark coming to fix it. You are coming to fix it. Weight room B, oh, don't worry. You're about to buy all new equipment. All new equipment. When you went to Shields to buy that, don't worry. You also made a contribution to the Chiefs' new locker room. Oh, man, it's going to be nice.
Bink said they have 5 urinals. Now, I've been in the locker room, never been in the bathroom of the locker room. we're going to have 53 urinals in that one. Don't worry.
You only got 5 urinals for 53. And we're not even counting the practice squad. Because you got their practice squad, they're in the same locker room, too.
Yeah, the coach is in there.
So people are asking, which locker room is this? So they do have a new locker room at Arrowhead. But they only use that one on game days. This is the locker room that they have at the practice facility. So you guys have seen it a million times. You know exactly where I'm talking about. So that's the one that they use a majority of the time. So you've seen that one before. Whenever they do the player interviews inside the locker room, not the ones at the podium. That's also at the practice facility as well. So yeah, that's the one that gets the F. That one, it's bare bones. It's meager. That's the locker room that if you guys have been following the Chiefs for a while, the Romeo Crennel play good football signs, eliminate bad football, that was outside that locker room. That's the one that they use on a day-to-day. That's where they are a majority of the time. So that one, that's the in Olathe where they're building that's where that locker room is going to be. And then obviously the new stadium is going to be out by the Legends. So that's just going to be a completely different locker room. But yeah, no, some of this stuff, I mean, food dining area. No, you guys came to the rescue. You're going to fix that. 100%. They're going to have the nicest cafeteria in the league here coming up in a couple of years. Some of these are going to be A+, or your tax dollars are not hard at work. If you're telling me in 7 years the Chiefs cafeteria gets a C-, what were you guys doing? We did our part. You guys have not done your part when it comes to building this. All right, coming up on the other side, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We'll bring it back for a little bit. So there is going to be a roundtable in college athletics where the president of the United States called a bunch of super important people to come together to talk about the current state of college athletics. I got a question, 913-586-7965. If you could suggest one rule to college athletics right now to help fix things, and they would listen and vote on it and try to enact it, what would you pick? If you could get one rule right now in college athletics, I think this could fix the sport. What would you suggest? We'll get to that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These Vapo-Cool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks Vapo-Cool drops. Use as directed.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law, Missouri side in Green Valley, 70 westbound heavy with an accident past the Buckner exit. The right lane blocked and delays stretch back about 3 miles. Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law. How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results. Mike's got this. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right. This is what I like to talk about. I'm not here to get political. I don't really care about your political opinions on this topic, so you can just save them. It's not really concerning to me, honestly. The President of the United States has called a bunch of people to the White House to discuss college athletics. I believe something will come from this. I don't know what. I can't tell you if it will be good or bad. I don't know what it is yet. But I refuse to believe that this group of people are going to come together and we are not going to get something that is suggested and thrown out there from this. So the president is going to be there. Tiger is going to be there. Nick Saban, Mac Brown, Urban Meyer, Condoleezza Rice, the president of the Patriots, the commissioner of the NBA, the head of Fox Sports, and the head of ESPN, all 4 commissioners for the major conferences, athletic directors from Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Tim Tebow, Charlie Ward, etc. This is it's a very, very important group of people that are coming together to talk about college sports. Now, I believe that the NCAA has thrown their hands up in a lot of ways and are waiting for the government to come save them. Now, I will give the NCAA credit for this, and I hate being on the side of the NCAA. I do not try to make that my business. But a lot of the things that you are unhappy about with college athletics, they have tried to do something about. And usually what happens is the NCAA says no, and now people know that the NCAA has no power, and what does go around you? The NCAA told Diego Pavia, you can't play. Okay, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to file an injunction. He obviously played this past season. Trinidad Chambliss, the NCAA told you, no, you are not eligible. He filed an injunction. It looks like he's going to play this season in college football. So the NCAA tries to have some rules. People just realize you don't need to be afraid of them anymore. You need to be afraid of them if they got Congress on their side. You need to be afraid of them if they got the President of the United States on their side, and that's what I think they are about to have. I think something is coming from this. This is what I want to do, 913-586-7965. If you had to suggest one change to college athletics, one suggestion, what would you have? And I'm reading it, and we might think there's a different way of enacting this. Because like some of this, I just don't think that we're being realistic, so to speak. For example, Bobby Witt Jr.'s contract is guaranteed. Like, Bobby Witt Jr. is not a pay per game employee. And I think now with college, we're trying to make it like, oh, well, if you only play this. No. If you sign the deal, they owe you that money. I think we're overreacting a little bit to the Darren Peterson situation that is so unique, and we can't find anybody else who is in this situation. It's not like Arch Manning is like, I don't really want to play today. I want more money. No, guys are playing. I don't think we're giving the current athlete nearly enough credit for, I want to compete. I want to play in these games. I want to test myself up against the best. I don't feel like we're giving them nearly enough credit. The number one thing that I hope they can do is we have to find out a better system for the portal. We have to find out a better system for the portal. I don't have a problem with player movement. I am for player movement. But I don't think that you should be allowed to play for 4 different D1 schools every year that you are a college athlete. I don't think that you should be allowed the opportunity to enter the transfer portal solely with the purpose of seeing who's going to pay you more and then commit to the same school. Now, it worked out. That is exactly what Flory did to Kansas. Flory was at KU. He entered the transfer portal to talk to other schools to basically play Kansas for another raise. Now, he got the raise. He's having a great season. I mean, the game is the game. How mad can you be? But I don't think you should do that. Now, this is the system that I've always wanted for the portal, and now we've just gone too far in the other direction. And the analogy that I make is you don't have a problem with your kid eating ice cream, but your kid can't eat ice cream for every single meal. That's where the problem is. You don't have any problem. Hey, you know what? You ate all your dinner. Go get yourself a popsicle. That can be the only thing that you eat. So I don't have a problem with transfers. You shouldn't be able to transfer 7 times. I would be perfectly fine if we got these 2 changes to college athletics. You are allowed a transfer for any reason. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if it's playing time. I don't care if it's because you think the girls are prettier. I don't care if it is you signed up to Michigan and realized how cold it was and you don't want to be there anymore. You are allowed 1 guilt-free transfer. After that, if you want to transfer, you either need to go down a level and play at Pitt State for a year, or your coach got fired. If you're at K-State and your coach got fired, to me, you should be allowed to transfer. But you shouldn't be allowed to transfer because you got here, it was hard, they recruited somebody to compete against you, you lost the job, and now you're mad you're going to enter the portal again. No, you need to stay. That's what I would say. I would also have this rule. From the moment you step on the field, you got 5 years to play college athletics. 5 years. You get hurt, that's unfortunate. You got 5 years to play college athletics. Basketball, football, gymnastics, whatever it is. We will give you 5 flat years. The moment you enter a competition, it burns a red shirt. None of those. You got 5 years from the moment you step on the field. That's another rule that I would like to see. So those are just 2 very simple rules that I would have. Now, we can get really into the weeds here. I also think, for example, and we use Kansas as an example, I think Kansas should owe St. Bonaventure a little bit of money for Melvin Council. A little bit of money. I think part of what has killed mid-majors and what has killed the NCAA tournament concept of a Cinderella is, how do you build a mid-major in 2026? How can you build a really talented group of juniors and seniors if the moment the kid gets good, the moment that Kyan Evans at Colorado State balls out, well, then the next year he's going to North Carolina? No. If you're North Carolina and you end up committing that kid, you should have to pay some form of a buyout to the mid-major. You have no problem paying that money to beat their head in a non-con game. I'm not saying you got to owe them $1 million, but you could throw $100,000 to St. Bonaventure's way to go toward their NIL to keep talent. Kind of like a luxury tax. That's what we have in professional sports. The Dodgers got to give the Royals a little bit of money. The Yankees got to give the Royals a little bit of money. We're going to share alike in this thing. I do think, and this happens at all schools, not just at Kansas. I'm just using him as an example because a player that we all know. But, hey, I'm more than happy that Melvin Council, you were at St. Bonaventure. You got the opportunity now to go play at the University of Kansas, play in front of NBA scouts, give yourself opportunities, go to a better school. Hey, I'm happy for Melvin Council. That's great. To me, that's what the transfer portal should be for. Kansas got to throw them a little bit of bread. Throw them a little bit of bread. And I think you would see, with that money, I think you would see the floor rise a little bit for mid-majors than what we currently are. Because we have allowed the Power 4 schools to strip all resources from mid-major. They absorbed all the schools that they wanted and put them into their league. They absorbed all of the mid-majors, all the schools. They're now in Power 4 leagues. And now at any moment you can just say, hey, we like you. Come play for us. I don't think that's what the transfer portal should be. Those are some small fixes I would suggest to where we are in college athletics to see where we're at.
Well, you took my first 2. I will throw out a third here in a second, but obviously age restrictions and transfer restrictions, I think, unanimously on the text line are the top 2 reasons to fix the sport. And on transfer restrictions, I'm probably even a little more strict than you. I think you should get 1 transfer, plus if your coach is fired, you can transfer again. I don't mean, you get 1 after your redshirt year and then 1 more, because I want those kids to be funneled to the mid-majors. I don't want someone going to a big university when they're probably on the periphery, whether or not they're good enough, and then they get recruited over and they get just a free transfer after the redshirt year. I don't want that. I want them to be funneled into more of those mid-major programs. And then I think if you get in the portal as well, you should have to go. I'm totally with you on that. You get 1 transfer, and if you get in the portal, that's your 1 transfer. My other one, though, can we get, especially in college football, can we get an off season? This Lane Kiffin thing that happened last season, it's dumbfounding. The fact that players are transferring during the college football playoffs is insane. The fact that all of this closes the week of the national championship game is mind-blowing. We need to have an actual offseason, like the NFL has. We need to have a transfer window that starts a month after the season and it lasts a couple of weeks. I don't want full-fledged free agency. I know that's not possible.
That's what we got. That's what we got with the transfer portal, though. We got full-fledged free agency.
But that's what it is, and it's happening during the playoffs. You're exactly right. So coaches, players, everyone alike, movement should only be allowed during a few-week time period, a month time period. It should happen in the offseason. We should be in the college football playoffs right now, or offseason right now.
Yeah, you should be able, though, I would say, you should be able to enter multiple year deals with a school. That's what I think. You should be able to enter it, in my opinion. I'm looking right now at the way that it is currently set up. So, for example, Kansas should be able to go to Darren Peterson and say, we own your amateur rights. The only school that you can play amateur basketball at is at Kansas. If you, for any reason, decide, well, I want to keep playing amateur basketball, but I want to go to North Carolina, then there should be some negotiation, and North Carolina should be forced to buy out Darren Peterson's contract for him to now be able to transfer there. The exact same way as tomorrow, Dennis Gates cannot just decide, well, now I want to be the coach at Arkansas. No, you can't just go be the coach at Arkansas in our division. There's some financials that need to be figured out in order for you to be able to do that. You can't just quit this job and then just go be the coach of somewhere else. We want you to be the coach. Arkansas and Missouri would then have a conversation about a buyout, and then you would end up paying the money because we see coaches leave all the time in sports. So, yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think the more we make this like a professional entity, and not just from the fact that they get paid, not just from the fact that they pay for television rights, I mean in the business and transactions of the league, are going to be the better for us. We have a professional basketball model that works. We have a professional football model that works. We have a professional baseball model that everybody seems happy with. The more that we incorporate the business side of those things into where we are with college athletics, I think in the end, the happier we are going to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I love the idea of a contract where it is not that a player can, because again, I don't want full-fledged free agency, but I like the idea of a multi-year commitment. And hey, if you leave, it's to go to the league. Of course, players are going to stretch the boundaries of that. There's going to be negotiating like you referred to, but I want restrictions on movement. The Caleb Love thing is the big example for me. When he left, went to Arizona, it sucked. When these guys get good and they
you got to also remember he went to Michigan in between there. Remember
That's right.
At first committed to Michigan. He then decommitted from Michigan. I think it was financially related. They say it was academic related. Then he ended up at Arizona.
No. He's going for the higher. It's the equivalent to what you mentioned that Flory did when he entered the portal and then back out. Except Caleb actually left and held court. He held free agency. But yeah, I want restrictions on player movement. I want an off season, and I think age restrictions as well. And we mentioned that very briefly to start this. Injuries, year limits, whatever you want to call it. If you're above the age of 23, 24, you don't belong in college sports.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, CDOT, those models work for the businesses and the owners, not for the players. I'm looking at the NFL. The salary cap in the NFL is $300 million. They have a lot of these same restrictions. It's not working for the players? You're telling me that the business model we have in the NBA is not working for the players? They seem to be doing very fine financially. The average salary in the NBA is $11 million. I understand different money and all those things. The models we seem to have for these professional sports, the players seem to all be getting rich off of it. Like when I look at the NFL, there's just not rampant player movement. It's not just like tomorrow Patrick Mahomes can just wake up and say, you know what, I really want to be the quarterback of the Cowboys. I'll just be the quarterback of the Cowboys. That's currently the system we have in college athletics. Everybody is a free agent all the time, constantly. And we also have a system in which you can constantly communicate with, like, there is another college right now communicating with Flory, or somebody very close to Flory to get him to once again enter the transfer portal. There is somebody right now talking to every player. You have to. That's the game. That's the game that they have created. The game is created is there's no penalty for entering the transfer portal, and everybody is signed up for this kind of shady dealing of how you do things. So, yes, I think in a lot of ways, making this more protected and giving it more boundaries ultimately is going to be good for the company and for the employee. Because for the employee, I would say, as much as we talk about kids making the decision to leave, I think a lot of times what is happening is these coaches are feeling the hot seat, feeling the pressure, and they're telling kids, there's no longer a spot for you here. You need to transfer. I don't think it's 100% greedy kids. I think it's also coaches trying to preserve $8-9 million jobs, and now we're telling you, hey, we're starting over with our basketball team. So if we want a two-way contract or a 2-year contract on one side that the players need to commit to, we also need a model that the schools are going to commit to as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, I wish tampering wasn't legal, like you're talking about with communicating with current players of other teams. I'm just less concerned about that. I think restricting entries into the portal, period, would do a lot to solve that. I just, more than anything, think it's so crazy that we're here. Like, we all beat a table for so long to get to a system like this. And not only did we get there, but we got there and it was the wild, wild west immediately. No rules, no regulations, no parameters, no guidelines. And now we have Tiger Woods sitting down with the president to figure out how to solve this. It's just wild times we're living in the NCAA.
I want to tell you guys something really quick. You know, we always like taking a little random detour from the world of sports. The movie Miracle, it jumped up 300% on Disney Plus over the past month. On Sunday, when the United States actually won the gold medal, first time they won it since 1980, it saw an increase of 21 times the amount of people that would usually watch Miracle on a Sunday watched it this past Sunday. Business over on Disney Plus, booming. So you know what I wanted to do here? I want to take a little bit of a detour, and I want to tell you guys some of my favorite Disney sports movies. Now, I'm not going to talk about Remember the Titans because, I mean, come on now. I mean, everybody loves Remember the Titans. There's a handful of movies that everybody has seen. And if you tell somebody you haven't seen them, you get kind of, really? You've never seen that before? Forrest Gump is one of those movies. You've never seen Forrest Gump? Doesn't make any sense. How have you never seen it? It's on TNT. It's on TNT right now, probably. Shawshank Redemption is one of those movies. Now, this might not be a movie for the ladies, and I don't mean to be sexist. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, Goodfellas is one of those movies. Like, if we were at the bar and you're like, I've never seen Goodfellas, you've never, I would look at you a little funny if that's the case. Remember the Titans is also on that list. That's a movie all of us have seen. So let's remove that. Now, Nathan, I'm going to tell you a movie. You're going to laugh at me. I'm going to give you my personal 5. I don't care about your 5. I'm not ranking them. I'm telling you my 5. Like, I'm giving you my list. If I was on a plane, let's say I was flying international, I'm going to Italy, and I can only take 5 Disney sports movies with me. These are the 5 I'm taking, not including Remember the Titans. Miracle is on that list. I love Miracle. That scene when they lose, I think it's to Sweden, and the players are distracted. They're on the bench. They're looking at the girls. Their mind is not on hockey. And then the coach is just like, you know what? You guys didn't want to work hard during the game. We're going to work now to the baseline. He keeps making them skate back and forth. Hey, what team do you play for? Oh, I play for Boston College. Wrong answer. Keep skating. And then when they eventually say, I play for the United States of America, oh, my goodness. It gets me every time. I'm like, yes, let's go win. Let's beat the Russians. Miracle. I love Miracle. A+ movie. I didn't watch it last Sunday, but I need to watch it. I'm going to throw a curveball here. And some of you are going to laugh at me on the text line. That's fine. I don't care if you laugh at me. I don't care. Motocrossed. For those of you who remember, Disney original movies, they were like holidays back in the day. You give me a little Cadet Kelly. Oh, my goodness. Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. Oh, I was locked in. Now, my favorite Disney original movie is Motocross. For those of you that don't know what Motocross is, it was basically She's the Man. It was a boy. He got hurt riding motorbikes, and his family had bet it all on him. He was supposed to be the next Travis Pastrana, he was supposed to be. And instead of him having to bow out of the competition, his twin sister cut her hair, and she decided to go out and be this great motocross rider. Nathan, I love that movie. That movie walked so She's the Man could run. Motocross in my top 5. It's not your top 5, it's mine. Motocross, one of my favorite Disney sports movies. We've got Miracle. We got Motocross. Now, I know the text line might say the second one's more popular than the first one. I love the first Mighty Ducks. It's a tried and true formula. Team is bad. Team has an inspiring moment. Turn things around and gets good. It's a formula that will never die. It's a formula I can always wrap my arms around. But it's something about Coach Bombay, who is a drunk in the beginning. He's a loser. How he finds his way through youth sports. It's a real inspirational story. He's telling the kids to take dives. He's got some PTSD about how he was a loser player back in the day and never made it. And I would have been in the NHL if the coach liked me more. It's just a tried and true story. Maybe you think Mighty Ducks 2 is better than the first one, but if you're telling me that I got to pick just one to watch, I'm watching the first one. Give me the first Mighty Ducks. Now, I'm going to throw another curveball. I'm going to throw another one. Angel in the Outfield. That scene where, he asked his dad, hey, what's it going to take? He's like, I'll come get you when the Angels win the pennant. And the Angels, they're playing great baseball. And his dad is walking off, and he's like, why don't you want me? Why don't you want me? Oh, my goodness, it gets me every time. It really does. It gets me every time. These two kids and this foster home came together because of a love of baseball. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. Baseball is what unites us. Baseball and a little Danny Glover and a little hope, a little faith, a little arm flapping. Angels in the Outfield. Last up, Glory Road. This is why. Glory Road should show you the importance of seasoning. Their coach before, he had unseasoned basketball. That's what it is. This is really a movie about the importance of seasoning. He was coaching unseasoned basketball. Miserable. Terrible. The black players were going up to him like, hey, man, I don't know. You should maybe try. We got some seasoning. You should maybe check out. No, you know what? We're just going to use just a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, and that's all we need. And the black players were like, I don't know. I don't think that's enough. And you know what? They were losing his way. They were getting smoked his way. And one day he woke up, he's like, you know what, man? Give me this Louisiana hot sauce. And he poured a little bit of that Louisiana hot sauce on his team. Changed basketball forever. Think about where we would be in basketball if we had no seasoning. Those are my 5 favorite Disney sports movies, if I'm not including Remember the Titans. Miracle. I love the first Mighty Ducks. Motocross. Angels in the Outfield. And give me a little bit of Glory Road.
I don't have a list of 5 to give you.
That's
I was going to name you one, and everyone knows that when Rob takes off, you don't miss the anti-running back takes with me, but you are going to miss the movie takes with him. That is the drop off that you're going to have to deal with when Rob takes off work again. It's probably going to happen again next week.
Out of here.
Angels in the Outfield was my one, but I'll throw another one out just for the sake of conversation. It's The Rookie. I know it's cheesy. When that movie is on, I've probably seen that movie start to finish like 5 times in my life, which for someone who doesn't watch movies is a lot. You're never too old to chase your dreams, Carrington.
I'm telling you.
Hey, by the way, one that I'm just looking at a list of other people's rankings of Disney movies. I forgot all about this Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson football movie. You know what I'm talking about? Where his daughter is what's her name?
The one like the Tooth Fairy?
Yeah, I think so. I forgot that even existed. That was such a pull from the archives in my mind. I definitely watched that one when it came out when I was little.
No,
it's not near my top 5, but forgot
People
all
are
about
saying
it.
Sandlot. Sandlot is not a Disney movie.
No.
I don't believe it is a Disney
If we were
movie.
just talking about sports movies, Sandlot would be up there. Obviously,
here.
things like Moneyball, Blindside,
Sandlot is made by 20th Century Fox. It is not a Disney movie.
Yeah, no,
That's why it was not included.
It's not a Disney movie. Is
Also,
Cars a sports movie?
I don't know if Sandlot's in my top 5 baseball movies.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't. I'm okay. I'm all right. Like tomorrow, I'd rather watch Rookie of the Year than watch Sandlot. I'd rather watch Rookie of the Year.
You know, about 2 hours ago when you said that there's some things you could say to someone where the fisticuffs might have to come out.
Oh, that's one of those things.
That's one of those things you could say
I'm
to
not
me.
hating. If Sandlot's your movie, Sandlot's just not my movie. It's just not my movie. Let me ask you this. Would you rather watch Little Giants or watch Sandlot?
Sandlot.
Give me Little Giants. Give me a little annexation of Puerto Rico. Give me a little bit of Icebox. I'm not Sandlot. It's not my movie. It's not mine.
It's just too many quotes, too many classic scenes. It's just the classic go-to sports movie for me. I do like Little Giants, though.
I'm just telling you. I know so hard. You know what? We're trying so hard to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Glory Road is telling you it's possibly a good idea. That's what I learned. That's what Glory Road taught me. Maybe DEI works. That was the message I got from the movie. They were playing unseasoned hoops. That's what they were playing. Very unseasoned. They sprinkled just a dash of Lowry's into basketball. Won the national championship. Look at that. They wouldn't have won it any other way. They were not going to win the national championship with no seasoning. That's what Glory Road taught you. Very important story. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. Ford has just announced an additional $2,000 in bonus cash that we are passing on to you, our customers. Shawnee Mission Ford is going to combine that with our large discounts and top trade allowances to save you thousands. You can save up to $9,000 off MSRP on 25 Explorers, $7,000 off MSRP on 25 Broncos, $6,000 off MSRP on 25 Bronco Sports, and $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Expeditions and F-150s. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really. Free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Kansas side, 35 northbound, gets heavy before 87. Stays very slow, not quite to 67th with an accident. Missouri side, Oak Grove into Green Valley, long delays with an accident past the Buckner exit. Right lane block heavy for about 3 miles approaching Allen Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Jack Caglione from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Hold on, I want to go back and I want to keep arguing about Sandlot because the text line's very mad. I mean, I'm looking at baseball movies. I'm not even sure if Sandlot's a top 10 baseball movie. Now that I just typed in just baseball movie. Tomorrow, Nick, would you rather watch Moneyball or watch Sandlot?
The Sandlot is the #1 baseball movie, and it's not close. I love Moneyball. I love Angels in the Outfield. Sandlot is the classic. It is the GOAT. There will never be another Sandlot. I have never disagreed with you more than this take. Not a top 10 baseball movie? Not even sports, baseball?
You rather watch Sandlot than watch Major League?
Of course.
You rather watch Sandlot than watch Bull Durham?
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Hardball than watch Sandlot if those are my two options.
No. It's fireworks. They're grabbing the hot dogs and running off to the field with their friends on the 4th of July. Like, what's better than that?
Keanu Reeves and this nun trying to save inner city youth. That's what's better than that. They're trying to stop gang violence through baseball.
But it's not about the plot. It's not about the plot with the Sandlot. That's the thing. It is. You can flip it on at any point. It's a feel-good, nostalgic, classic film.
You rather watch Sandlot than watch Bull Durham?
The kid's trying to get his stepdad to love him, but oh man, the baseball. He didn't know it was.
You're watching Sandlot over Field of Dreams.
I like Field of Dreams, but yes, Sandlot.
I'd rather watch Bad News Bears than watch Sandlot. Either one, the old one or the new one. Whichever one. I love Bad News Bears.
I like Bad News Bears too. And my argument, because you've got a few supporters in the text line now, my argument is not that the plot of The Sandlot is the greatest out of all of these baseball movies. If I'm flipping on one baseball movie to have a great hour and a half, it's The Sandlot.
Oh, people are hating on Moneyball. Moneyball's great. I love Moneyball.
Moneyball's a great movie. It gets too much hate.
Yeah, Moneyball's great. Now, I will say Moneyball isn't really about baseball as much. Like, it's kind of like Air. Like, Air is about Michael Jordan, but it's not really about Michael Jordan. Like, it's really about Sonny Vaccaro. Like, so I would say, like, that's kind of how that is as well, Moneyball. Like, it's about Billy Beane and building a team, but I love Moneyball. I'm a big fan of Moneyball.
I think Brad Pitt's performance is a little overrated in Moneyball, but I still love the movie. Love the movie.
Just a lot of hate coming from over there. Just a whole lot of hate. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to reset things with the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about running backs. Jeremiah Love is a name that has been thrown out as a possibility in coming to Kansas City. He talked to Rich Eisen earlier today about the possibility of coming to play in Kansas City.
Do you read mock drafts or you don't?
I see them, but I try not to pay attention to them.
Okay.
I see a lot of people saying I'm getting drafted to the Chiefs, Saints, saw the Giants, saw the Commanders, saw the Cowboys not too long ago. I'd be blessed to go anywhere. Yeah, but I try not to pay attention to that stuff.
The Chiefs are where, I'm seeing you a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously, playing football with Patrick Mahomes would be something, I'd imagine. You're from St. Louis, right? You're from Missouri.
Yes, sir.
The Chiefs,
I'd be close to home.
Yeah, you would be close to home. That's something you'd be up for, I imagine.
Yes, I would be, especially playing with Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I feel like he's the best quarterback as of right now that's in the league. I feel like he's top one. So it'd be an honor to play with him.
I mean, this is a very small point. I'm not really giving the kid too much grief for it, but I did like how he said, I don't really pay attention to mock drafts. And then he seemed pretty knowledgeable about mock drafts. I mean, this one had me going to Kansas City. This one had me going to New Orleans. This one had me too. Like, you seem to know the range in which, he named every team from 6 to 11.
He's naming Daniel Jeremiah's running back rankings.
Yeah. He just named every single one. I mean, this one has me going 6. This one has me going for you not to know what's going on in these mock drafts, you got a pretty good understanding.
Yeah, the Rams could trade up with the Commanders, They would probably take a third.
All right. I mean, this is the thing about Jeremiah Love. I want to be super clear about where I am with him. You have never heard me say that I don't think he's good. You've never heard me say that I don't think he can play. I don't think that's the conversation. The conversation is, I would say right now, this week, a theme or wrapping up. Let's say this is your first time listening to Sports Talk for the week. I appreciate you. There are two themes that I have. Number one, when it comes to Ruben Bain is, Ruben Bain, if you believe the arm length thing, if you believe it, for something that is already risky, you are throwing more risk on top of it. You're throwing more risk on top of it. Do you want to do that for a pick in which everybody agrees you have to hit at 9? This is not 31 or 32 after you won the Super Bowl that you can take the hometown kid that everybody can feel good about. And if it doesn't work, it's like, okay, no. If the Chiefs don't get 9 right, someone's getting fired. That's how this works. You don't get the 9th overall pick. You completely whiff at 9 and then think, it's not that big of a deal. I'll keep trying. No, that's not how that works. People get fired when you miss that level of draft pick. So my point on Ruben Bain is, and I'm not a draft expert in that way, is it's already risky. Do you want to throw more risk on top of it? And if you get it right, no one will ever talk about his arm size. That's how this works. That's why I hate the conversation when it comes to, oh, well, you reached on this pick, or we got great value. Bro, no one cares about that. No one remembers it. No one is like, oh, well, this guy was supposed to be a 3rd-round pick, but you got him now, and now it's great value, so it doesn't work. No one cares about that. It's a very simple pass or fail. If Ruben Bain is a really good player, we don't spend any time in October talking about arm length when it comes to players. Can you play? Can you not play? And I would say the second thing is we all acknowledge Jeremiah Love's great. Is he so great that you can put away conventional positional value wisdom in order to take him with the 9th overall pick? If the Chiefs had the 17th overall pick and they were mocked to get Jeremiah Love, my stance would be, sure, take him. Take him. That's an acceptable place to take him. But once we're talking about inside the top 12, and in the Chiefs' case, inside the top 10, if you're talking about that conversation, it changes it. Now, if I could see into the future, and let's say the Chiefs trade back and they get Jeremiah Love at 15, but they pick up an extra 2nd-round pick, okay, then we're having a completely – I got to go with what we have now. And I don't think it's smart to spend the 9th overall pick on a running back based on the information that we have now. But that's not me telling you the kid can't play. It's not me telling you he can't be a good pro in the league. He could absolutely be a good pro in the league. What if he turns out to be Dalvin Cook? Good running back for a decent amount of time in the league. Is Dalvin Cook good enough to spend the 9th overall pick on? Because my answer would be no. I would say you missed if that's the case, if that's who he turns out to be. I just think there's better value elsewhere if you want to end up making that selection. That's what I would say.
I agree with everything you said, but I'll just take it one step further with the statement you made that was, I have to go off what I have now. We're assuming that Jeremiah Love falls to 9 in all these conversations, right? We've said, I want Jeremiah Love at 9. What if the Browns take him at 6? You can't approach the offseason and forego an ETN, an Algier, a Kenneth Walker if he's actually going to hit free agency like was reported earlier today that he could. You can't forego those guys in order to assume you're going to take Jeremiah Love. You don't get to just do this thing all at once in a vacuum. No other teams exist. So I absolutely do not want the Chiefs' offseason plan to be, we're going to take a running back at 9. No matter what, that's the worst possible scenario. So I fully anticipate Brett Veach and the Chiefs to think the same way and to at least get a mid-tier or better free agent running back. Now, I also think it's just bad team building to pick a running back at this spot. I'd much rather have edge, and I would only want Jeremiah Love if they traded back. But just based on the fact that free agency comes first and then 8 other teams pick before you, I don't want that to be the plan whatsoever.
If they drafted Jeremiah Love, it would be I'm trying to use the right term. That is my least desired draft pick of all the ones that they are rumored to potentially get. If they get the best wide receiver in the draft class at 9, great. If they get that tight end kid from Oregon, I don't know where he's potentially mocked, but if you think he's Brock falling. Bowers, if you think he's that level of talent, you take him with 9 and you live with the fact that you took a tight end with the 9th pick. You take an edge rusher. You take running back would be the least desirable selection, I would say, given exactly what you said. You said no to ETN. You said no to Breece Hall. You said no to all of these guys. and then you landed on the 9th overall pick. So you not only used the draft pick, you also spent the money to go out and get the running back there. That's just not what I would do. Really quickly before we reset things coming up at the top of the hour, did you see that Anthony Richardson, his agent said that he would love for his client to go to a team like Kansas City or Baltimore so they could sit behind a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and learn for a bit? Anthony Richardson is only 24 years old. Now, usually I would be actually on board with them going to get Anthony Richardson, just given his age. Like, first-round talent, the physical traits are all there. You sign him to a nothing kind of contract. He sits behind Patrick Mahomes, and you see what you got. I don't think the Chiefs are in a position, given Mahomes' injury concerns and where he is physically right now, to take a chance on Anthony Richardson. When they go sign a backup quarterback, because I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to be their backup quarterback, they just need way more seasoning than that. And I also just don't think that Richardson is signing on to be your third quarterback. I think he's signing up to be somebody's backup. If I had to guess, I think he's going to Minnesota.
That's my guess, too. If you're a team that's looking for the next Sam Darnold, Anthony Richardson is someone I would kick the tires on. Not saying I'd be in love with him, but like Malik Willis is going to be that guy this offseason. He's going to get the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold treatment where he gets a contract, gets paid $30 million for 1 year to go prove himself somewhere else. I don't think Richardson is even as – I don't hold him in that high regards.
I'm guessing he's going to be a backup somewhere. And that's why, like, if Mahomes had 5 straight years of playing 17 games, I'd have a completely different opinion. Hey, you got a guy who never misses starts. You can start Anthony Richardson. Like, I don't know if Mahomes is going to start week 1. I don't want the Chiefs starting Anthony Richardson week 1 of the NFL season. Like, he's much more of a third quarterback option in Kansas City than a 2. Like, they need a 2. You got to go find Marcus Mariota. You got to go find, like, I'd rather have Tua in this analogy than have Anthony 100%. Richardson. I'd much rather have Tua, even though Richardson upside to me potentially of what he could be is greater. And at 24 years old, I'd rather take the chance. I just don't think, given where Mahomes is, I don't think they're in a position to take this kind of dice roll. Buffalo, I think, could take this kind of dice roll with Josh Allen. I don't really think Kansas City can do it when it comes to Anthony Richardson. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to reset things. Albert Breer threw out a very interesting name potentially in free agency. I'll tell you who it is. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Kansas side, 35 northbound, accident before 67th in the clearing stages with a wrecker on the scene, but delays stretch back beyond 87th. Very heavy in through there. Missouri side, Oak Grove into Green Valley, recovering earlier accident past the Buckner exit has cleared. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
The Drive's Papa Shot Tournament is Wednesday, March 18th at DraftCade starting at 6:30. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
This is interesting. I was not planning on talking about this. I just saw this. Nathan, congratulations. Get into your 9 to 5. Appreciate you being here. So I got an email during the break from The Athletic, and the story was, who is your college football coach going to be 4 years from now? So I was like, let me look to see. I was kind of curious about Missouri, what they had Missouri doing. So I was scrolling down. The Big 12 was first. Now, K-State fans, you'll be happy to know they think that Colin Klein's going to be your coach in 4 years. If Colin Klein is not K-State's coach in 2030, something went terribly wrong. Like terribly wrong at K-State for that not to be the case, where you guys made the decision to fire him in 4 years. It went real bad in K-State. Now for Kansas, they have their current offensive coordinator being elevated. Lance Leipold retires, and they just hand things off to the current offensive coordinator. Listen to this, Nathan. In 2030, The Athletic is projecting that Eli Drinkwitz will take the Oklahoma job and that Missouri would bring back LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker, who was the defensive coordinator a couple of years ago. Right. He then left to take over the job at LSU. LSU. He would take over the job at LSU. So that is how The Athletic is predicting. Obviously, it's just a guess, it's just a projection, but The Athletic thinks that in 4 years, Eli Drinkwitz will be the next head coach at Oklahoma University.
Isn't, like, as much as, like, we've heard these rumors about Drink and, like, him getting courted by these other teams and staying at Mizzou, I think 4 years from now, it does feel right to say eventually that lands and he moves on. I also think...
Do you think Oklahoma is a job that you have to say yes to? Because there's some jobs that you have to say yes to. Like in this hypothetical, if Ohio State offered Eli Drinkwitz the job, you have to take that job. If Georgia offers you the job, you have to take the Georgia job. Do we think that Oklahoma is still, because there definitely was that case. There was a point in our lives where Oklahoma was on that list, where if you had a chance to be the next head coach at Oklahoma, you could not turn that job down. Do we think that's still the case now with them in the SEC?
I think so. It definitely is historically, but I don't think they've done a, say, UCLA basketball fall off to where the job just holds none of the prestige now that it did historically. I do think that's still a job that if Oklahoma comes calling, you listen. I do.
I don't know anymore. I don't know because their pathway to the college football playoff is not what it was 10 years ago. If they were still in the Big 12, every year you would have to assume, hey, you got to go through Oklahoma if you want to win the Big 12. That's not the case for them in the SEC. That you've gone from in this analogy being the best school in 5A to now in 6A. You're a good program. You made the college football playoff this year, but they're probably the sixth best team in the SEC. Like we're going like program prestige. Texas is ahead of them. Georgia's ahead of them. Alabama's ahead of them. LSU is also ahead of them. Is Florida a better program than Oklahoma? So I do wonder in some ways, just given the fact that they have taken away, I would say, one of their big advantages for the last 50 years is the conference that they are in football. And now you have completely ramped up the difficulty. Is that job now as no-brainer, you have to take it the way that it was for you and I growing up?
I don't think it's as no-brainer, no. I'm with you on that. I do think they still hold that stature as a you must listen if they call you job. Now, I hear your points about they moved up to 6A. They're competing with the big dogs now. I would say in the specific case of Eli Drinkwitz, he has the same restrictions with less resources at Mizzou where he is currently. So I could definitely see Eli making the jump from Mizzou to OU in a few years like this article suggests.
So let's get back to, I guess, more hypothetical things. I was going to say real things. I mean, this is also as hypothetical as Eli Drinkwitz is going to be the head coach of Oklahoma in 2030, according to this article in The Athletic. So I was getting ready for the show, and I saw combine notes from Albert Breer, so I clicked on it. Very curious to hear what Albert Breer has to say. He's one of the top reporters in the NFL, in my opinion. And the top of the story says, an intriguing suitor for Kenneth Walker. Now, I have been operating like Kenneth Walker was just going to go back to Seattle. That just because they're not putting the franchise tag on him does not mean that he is not going to re-sign. For example, the Cowboys didn't put the franchise tag on Javonte Williams and just re-signed him to a contract, a pretty fair contract. So I have been operating like Kenneth Walker is still going to go back. They don't have Zach Charbonnet. You potentially could be without your Super Bowl MVP and a guy who had an incredible January in Kenneth Walker. I would like to think that those two sides are going to figure out an agreement and he's going to continue. But somebody who was at the combine is telling me maybe that's not the case. So as I'm reading this, it goes on and says, Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker's situation with Seattle remains an interesting one. Presuming the Seahawks decline to tag him, the Chiefs loom as an interesting suitor. It then goes on to talk about how the Chiefs tried to make the trade for Breece Hall, but ultimately it just didn't end up happening. If there is one thing that I think we should believe from the combine, because I would say most of it is noise, most of it is nonsense, I would say the thing that we should believe the most in all of this is that the Chiefs are trying to be a much more explosive offense when it comes to running the football.
Certainly we want to get more explosive in the running game. We've invested in that interior, and Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, two of the best in the league, and we thought Kingsley made a big step. Those are three talented interior players. So I think, and we've talked about it, and Coach has done an amazing job with his staff cranking on that scheme eval, but I think being more explosive in the running game and really taking advantage of those interior three to kind of impose your will on an opposing team's defense. But the running game takes a lot of pressure off everybody. So I think if we can be more explosive and more effective in the running game, I think obviously we take a lot of pressure off Pat, especially coming back early in the season with the injury.
I don't know if this counts as a bold prediction or not. I'm not saying it to be some big declarative statement. But I do believe that the Chiefs are going to overcorrect with their offense. I think you usually see them overcorrect. Their defense was bad after Pat won his first MVP. They then go out, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu. We are going to upgrade our defense. They lose the Super Bowl because of their offensive line. We're fixing this. This is never going to happen to us again. We go make a trade for a left tackle. We draft a center. We draft a right guard. They then threw all the resources at their offensive line. I think there's a chance they do that exact same thing to their offense. I think there's a chance that the conversation that they had immediately following the season is, we let Pat down. We didn't run the football nearly enough. We couldn't create separation. We were not explosive enough. I would say that they have done a great job upgrading most parts of their team. They have not done a great job upgrading the wide receiver room. They have not done a great job upgrading at running back. They've done a good job with defensive linemen. They've done a good job with linebackers, secondary players. They have not done a great job when it comes to putting those pieces around their quarterback. I think they're kind of forced to do that now. I think they saw their offense break down in a way. There was way too much conversation about the league figuring Kansas City out this year. He used the term explosiveness in the run game. They spent all last year talking to me about explosive plays. I think they misevaluated their roster last year. I think they try to overcorrect this season. Now, if Kenneth Walker is really a free agent, and we don't know, we're all sitting by and we're all waiting to see the exact same thing. But if he truly hits the open market, I could see him being at the top of the Kansas City Chiefs wish list. I could absolutely see that being the case. And we're gonna make sure that our running game can play true complementary, balanced football with our quarterback. That we asked our quarterback to do way too much last year. Patrick Mahomes is their leading rusher for the first 7 weeks of the season. Patrick Mahomes had 40 more rush yards last season than Isaiah Pacheco. Can you imagine if I had told you that? Can you imagine if I told you that Patrick Mahomes was going to be just 40 yards behind Isaiah Pacheco when it came to rush yards? Like, they did not run the football very effectively last year. So I could see if Kenneth Walker is available, that's the big swing that they take. I'm also getting that because, so on ESPN, they did a similar exercise. Who is the one free agent you could see signing with every team in the league? And for the Chiefs, it was Kenneth Walker. The Chiefs need not just a running back, but also a running back who can serve as a receiving outlet for Patrick Mahomes. Walker had more than 1,000 rush yards last season and also had around 300 yards receiving, an impressive 9.1 yards per reception average. His ability to generate explosive plays could be a valuable part of lifting the Chiefs' offense back to the top of the league. I think the fastest way to get the Chiefs back on track and to get them back to being a Super Bowl contending team is to put more explosive weapons around their quarterback. I think they got away from that. Now, I get it. They invested in center. They invested in right guard. They invested in a lot of those things. They let wide receiver to the wayside a little bit. They let running back to the wayside. I could see them overcorrecting that. That's why I'm not completely eliminating the possibility that they go wide receiver at 9. I know we spent a lot of time talking about edge rusher, and I want them to get an edge rusher and wide receiver be a little bit further down my list. But given the contract situation with Rashee Rice, even aside from the off-the-field stuff, entering the final year of his deal, if you've made the determination that because of his character you don't want to pay Rashee Rice, and now you got a chance to get a premium wide receiver prospect at number 9, I have not completely removed that from the realm of possibilities. Maybe this is an offseason in which they go for it. They go for the gusto when it comes to skill position player-wise. They spend money on running back. They draft a wide receiver high in the draft, and they are just – their goal is to try to outscore teams next year. I don't think that's been their goal for the last couple of years. You can't tell me that's your goal with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. You are not trying to outscore people. If you go get Kenneth Walker and you get that Lemon kid from USC, you got a chance to really go outscore some people next year.
I think the Chiefs could and should overcorrect at both running back and wide receiver when it comes to weapons around Patrick Mahomes. I just don't know if I agree on some of the thought process that got you there. We've said for years, like, hey, when Brett Veach sees a problem, he fixes it. He goes all in to fix it. That might be true when there's one problem, and the problem is, hey, we can't block. Or, hey, there's nobody in our secondary. It got old, so we're going to go out and get Justin Reed, and we're going to draft McDuffie, Watson, and Williams all at one time. The Chiefs need this sort of overhaul at like 4 or 5 different positions. You don't have the assets to overcorrect at where you're deficient this time. It needs to be a little more sneaky and I don't know, creative than it has been in years past. So I think it's going to be less of Brett Veach going all in because he has to at one position and more of just how do we get creative. Now, my answer at running back and receiver would be a veteran and free agency and a day 2 pick at both of those spots. I think the chance to get a blue chip pass rusher at number 9 is going to be too valuable to pass up.
Yeah, the text line right here, CDOT, the Chiefs can't afford Walker. He's going to set the market. I like Kenneth Walker. If there's a team that's planning on resetting the market with Kenneth Walker, I'll let him. I like him. I think he's a phenomenal player. There's nothing on his IMDb or there's nothing on his Pro Football Reference page that would make me think that he is worthy of resetting the market. The most yards he's ever run for in a season was his rookie year. He ran for 1,050 yards. Kenneth Walker hasn't had that monster season. He hasn't had that 1,600 yards, 12 touchdown. Like, when I'm looking at the top running back contracts, he's never shown you the ceiling of some of these guys. Like, going through the list, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, James Cook. I like Kenneth Walker. I don't think he's in that conversation. I think a fair contract is paying him like James Cook or Kyren Williams. I think that's a fair number. Kyren Williams got a 3-year, $33 million deal. James Cook got basically the same kind of contract. I think that's a pretty fair number of paying him. He got 4 for 46. So Kyren Williams got 3 for 33, and James Cook got 4 for 46 and got $28 million guaranteed. That's a fair number to me for Kenneth Walker. He's just not the kind of reset the market player that exists. That player is going to pop up at running back. Bijan Robinson's deal is going to come up. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to come up at running back. Those guys are – Kenneth Walker and his less than 1,100 yards rushing is not reset the market for me.
What I was getting ready to say before I knew James Cook's contract was about 4 for 48 with about 30 of that guaranteed. That is, I think, the top end of what Kenneth Walker can, in my opinion, earn. That might be buoyed a little bit by his success in January. Now, look, I think the Chiefs are so desperate for running back that getting a guy like Travis Etienne, who is just a legit NFL running back is going to do most of the work you need. And if the Chiefs are paying above and beyond that, it's going to be diminishing returns. A Saquon, Bijan, they're not hitting the market anyway. So I'm not sure I want the Chiefs to go out and spend 12 to 14 a year on running back, but they certainly could if they wanted to.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. The Chiefs should have eaten Mahomes' cap hit this year because they're not Super Bowl contenders. Even if he comes back with his full powers, I don't believe they would be. I don't think he comes back to his full powers the season after this. I don't think there's any reason to suggest that the Chiefs should have ate the cap hit on Patrick Mahomes. None. Like, none. I mean, basically all they did was they just paid out the money now and created more salary cap. Now, I mean, at some point, they're going to have to deal with it. And maybe your argument is they should deal with it in 2026 instead of 2036. But, yeah, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm not worried about dealing with the Mahomes contract until whoever Mahomes' replacement is. So I don't know when that could be. That could be in 7 years. That could be in 13 years. But, yeah, under no circumstance should the Chiefs carry Patrick Mahomes' cap hit, which would have been the second largest cap hit in the National Football League behind Deshaun Watson. They did the absolute right thing. The contract is structured for them to do it that way. The contract is structured for them to, at the end of every season, pay Patrick Mahomes out and keep pushing the problem down the road, so to speak, until the day he retires. There's no reason to deal with that in the course of the season.
100%. Now, I do agree with the texter that we might be looking at more of a down year this year compared to the rest of Mahomes' career. But this is not a general...
Maybe more down than it just was this past season. They won 6 games.
Sure. Well... the expectation, right, relative to going into the season. But I hate this thing that we do with the cap where people are like, well, they're going to have to pay it one day. Patrick Mahomes' contract is way more flexible than that. It's designed to convert money off the books to Patrick Mahomes in a way that doesn't hit the salary cap every single year. They're going to keep pushing this button over and over and over and over. Maybe if they have to deal with this after he retires, sure, we can deal with that when the Chiefs are at Wyandotte in the year 2040. But I would never say the Chiefs should, even if he's coming off an ACL, even if the team might be weakened, waste a year of Patrick Mahomes in that way.
I don't like the way you said Wyandotte there. Like, I know that's where they're moving, but like the way you said it, it just sounded confrontational. You know what I mean?
No.
They got to deal with it when they're in Wyandotte. Why'd you say it like that?
Well, in 2039.
Just say Kansas. I just like it like that. You know, like, man, we lost the stadium to Wyandotte. Like, I don't like the way that sounds, you know?
I'm on the Kansas side.
It sounds different
we.
when you say Kansas than Wyandotte. It just sounds different. I don't know. I don't like the way you said it. I just don't like it.
No, there's look, you can hit up the Dave and Buster's in the Margaritaville after a game if you're sad and the Chiefs stink at that time. There's nothing to do by this state. No, I'm just kidding. I think this is a problem the Chiefs face at the end of Patrick's career, not during his career. I don't care if there's a knee injury. He just hit 30. You go all in every single year till he's done.
Let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Well, Carrington, as always, the hits are brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, the first university in Kansas and ranked number 1 in return on investment among private universities in Kansas. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
All right, why don't we make hit number 1 a little college basketball? It's kind of weird to me to go into a game, and I don't really think Kansas can win this game. I mean, maybe they can. I mean, it's college basketball. I'm sure they can, but I'm not picking them. I imagine many of you are not picking them. I think they're going to be noticeable underdogs. Like, I think they'll be like 6.5 point underdogs. I mean, these last 2 Saturdays, they've gotten the beats. They got the beats at home by Cincinnati. They got the beats on the road against Iowa State. I can't do it heading into this game. I might end up being wrong. Rob comes back. Oh, we went on the road. We beat maybe the best team in college basketball. We swept them this year. Maybe that's the conversation, but it's not many games that I go into with Kansas and I'm thinking, I don't know if they're going to win this game. They're probably not winning this game. That's how I feel. Now, this is pure speculation, and it will probably end up being wrong. But in the St. Louis region, Nathan, Joe Lunardi has Missouri playing Wisconsin as a 10 seed. I'm telling you right now, if I will press whatever button you want me to press right now, press the button. If you're telling me in their quadrant, it is Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa State and Portland State in St. Louis. Sign me up. Sign me up. Missouri has a home court advantage against Wisconsin. And, I mean, Iowa State's better than Missouri. I'm not here telling you that they're the same, but I'm
those
telling
fans
you.
will come too.
I will also take my chances playing Iowa State not at Hilton. I'll take my chances. At a neutral site, I'll take my chances with that team. Certainly over the other 2 seeds that they have. I mean, if I could pick the 2 seeds out of the 1, I mean, they can't play Florida. They got smoked by Illinois earlier this year. I think they're better equipped now than they were back then. They didn't have Trent Pierce. They didn't have Jaden Stone. They're better equipped to be Illinois. I think Illinois would still beat them rather handedly. They're not putting Missouri and Illinois in St. Louis. They've already played a game in St. Louis earlier this year. I wouldn't mind if they're in the same quadrant as Purdue. So, like, if you flip-flop these, and they're the 10 seed that plays Utah State, and then Purdue is the 2 seed in their region in St. Louis, I can live with that. But, yes, I'm telling you right now, if there is a chance that the committee is listening, I'm telling you as somebody that cheers for Missouri, you don't have to do any rearranging with the brackets. We'll take this one right here. They don't got to go to Oklahoma City. No. St. Louis against Wisconsin, according to Joe Lunardi, as a 10 seed. They avoid Dayton. They get hey, I can live with that. I'm happy with it.
Doesn't Missouri creep up to the 9 or 8 line if they take care of business in these next couple of games, though? Like, I'm sure they might prefer actually.
I'd rather them stay in the 10 or 11.
I would too, but aren't they going to creep up, assuming they take care of business here?
Hopefully not. If that's the case, lose to Mississippi State.
They might do that anyway for you. You know how
lose to
goes.
Mississippi State. Yeah, for sure. The text, I actually had not seen this. Arizona is an 8.5-point favorite. Kansas right now is plus 340 on the money line. That sounds about right to me. That sounds fair to me. I think Arizona's better than they are. They're at home. You beat them the first time. I mean, Allen was on 15 that day. 8.5 for Arizona feels about right to me.
Allen that night, I was lucky enough to go. Allen was.
Oh, he was at the game.
One of the best basketball environments, if not the best one.
You could afford the tickets for the Arizona game?
Oh man,
you have to get plasma.
I bought those in like November. It was like $80.
Oh wow, you had the hookup.
Oh yeah, no. We got that cheap. We were debating between that one and like the TCU one.
Oh wow,
which was
you
great
played the futures market a little bit. It worked out.
Yeah, exactly. Had no idea what that game would be at that time, but yeah, Allen was unreal that night. I just think Arizona's better, and I still thought at the end of that game, Arizona clawed it back to 1 with like 35 seconds left. I thought for sure Arizona was going to pull ahead at the end of that one, even with the Allen mystique. So I can't pick Kansas to go on the road and beat Arizona. They're going to take care of business next week against Arizona State and Kansas State, and they're going to have their stuff together going into the Big 12 tournament.
Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk about the controversy right now that is happening at the Combine. We have a poll question that is up right now. Our poll question is, who's more popular? Who gets more love around town? Is it Slugger or Casey Wolf? I don't know how we were debating this in the office earlier today. I kind of threw the question out and everybody was offering up their suggestion on who they think that could potentially be. I think it's Slugger. I just think Slugger, you interact with Slugger more during the game, and I think that matters. You know, they show him on the Jumbotron. He's throwing T-shirts. He's throwing hot dogs. He's waving at kids. He's throwing BP batting practice. I just think that kids have there's a different love for Slugger than you have for Casey Wolf. Casey Wolf, he's got those big googly eyes. He was robbing banks a couple of years ago. I don't know. I think Slugger's more popular.
Easy on the bank robbing. That's crazy. Slugger's had his share of legal troubles too, I think, in the past. I know the women definitely love Slugger more than they love Casey Wolf. Look, even as an adult, you're sitting at a Royals game. It's a summer evening. You got a beverage in your hand, and here comes Slugger. He's walking around the section. He's talking to kids. He's hitting people with his tail and acting like he doesn't know that he's doing it. It's just Slugger is the feel-good mascot between all of our sports teams. Casey Wolf is creepy. I said earlier he's a narcissist.
Wild.
He has to make the pregame, the show about him. We had those videos back in the day of the other team, the guy running in from outside the stadium, and then Casey Wolf runs him over. He's got to run out of the locker. He's got to have the TV time when teams are kicking field goals. The show's not about you, Casey Wolf. Slugger's the better mascot.
Yeah, when you think about it, there's never a time in which you're unhappy that Slugger's around.
Never.
If Casey Wolf was walking up and down the aisle during the football game, you'd be mad. You guys would throw popcorn at Casey Wolf. You wouldn't do that to Slugger. You wouldn't even do that to Slugger. If Slugger popped up at a Chiefs game, you'd be thrilled. Oh, hey, it's Slugger. Because Slugger's a friend.
He is. You think the moment I think of about hating Casey Wolf, he stands there at the field goal post, the opponent's lining up, and he's shaking his hips, right? He's trying to distract the opponent. You can picture the guy throwing his hips around physically with his hands. And Evan McPherson drills the kick to send the Bengals to the Super Bowl. I don't want to see Casey Wolf on my screen shaking his hips. I want to see Slugger. It's good vibes. It's good times.
I will say I do like when the football mascot hits his head on the goalpost after the kicker makes the field goal. That always makes me laugh. It's always very funny. Football mascots don't really make you laugh. The baseball mascot makes you laugh a little bit. It's just a slower game. It's a family game. It's the second inning. Slugger comes around. Your daughter wants to take a picture with Slugger. Yeah, here, give him the Slugger. They take a little picture. Yeah, man. I think Slugger is a bigger deal going around town. If you were at a card convention and Slugger had a booth and Casey Wolf had a booth, I think Slugger gets more attention. I think he's just the cooler of the two mascots.
I do think Casey Wolf is more widely known because of the global reach the Chiefs are building, but I'm with you 100%. Slugger is the better mascot. What would you call that? Per capita?
Per capita.
People like Slugger on a one-to-one basis more than they like Casey Wolf, and it's not close.
Coming up on the other side, there's a controversy at the Combine. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mist tints. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowe's.com/same-day delivery.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Kansas side 35 northbound remains heavy from 95th Street up to 75th with multiple problems into there. Grandview 49 southbound heavy around Missouri 150 moves better as you make your way into Belton. Out of downtown 70 westbound heavy from 35 to the state line with construction. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Carlos Esteves from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot right here on 96.5 The Fan.
There's some controversy right now at the Combine. Now, I don't really understand how this is controversy at the Combine, but there's controversy at the Combine. So you guys remember yesterday, I mean, everybody was talking about it. Ruben Bain Jr., he had his arms measured, and they came up a little short.
Look at Melvin Ingram was a great player with the Chargers. You look at that arm length number, 31.5, which is extremely low. Bain came under 31, which is very low. You don't see guys go traditionally as
so what does that
top
mean
10
to you?
picks. So this is what I did. I have my thoughts on it as a scout, and I think every measurement matters, but I wanted to reach out to some defensive coordinators and see what they thought and how they would explain it. So I don't want to put words in their mouth, but this is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. What's the biggest issue with length? A lack of length. He said generally it's finishing. Not as good at extending and separating off blocks, not as good extending to get to the elbow or even wrapping around the quarterback. So then the follow-up question is, well, how would you overcome that, in your opinion, if you don't have length, like Bain? He said, I said leverage. He goes, for sure, explosion, using leverage to your advantage, having the ability to close that ground with your feet because you can't do it with your length. But this is a discussion that is happening all around this entire building. And CD, I know some folks at home laugh and say, I've watched this guy. He's unbelievable. He's a great player. We saw him all the way through the playoffs. Nobody could block him. Why does anybody care? Well, they do. It's part of the discussion, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to slide or he's going to go here or there, but it's being talked about.
So yesterday we spent time talking about the arm length issue because I would say it's a significant one. I mean, based on the measurement we had yesterday, he has the third shortest arms measured by defensive linemen in the last 25 years. There has not been a player that short of arms who has made the Pro Bowl as an edge rusher. There has not been a player with that short of arms who has had double-digit sacks in the last 25 years. So this is significant, I would say. Well, almost right after we got off of the show, there was a tweet from Adam Schefter. Now, the tweet said, some context on measurements taken throughout the week of the Combine. Measurements sometimes can vary for players depending on who they are taken by. To that end, at least 2 NFL teams that measured Ruben Bain today had his arms north of 32 inches. Now, hold on. You were telling me they did the official NFL Combine on the television measurements, and they got it at 30 and 7/8. And you're telling me the 2 teams did the measurements, and they got it to 32. Hold on, something's going on here. Now, I told you guys, I try to stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to. I got some strengths. I got some weaknesses. I am not a draft scout, so I don't know what I need to be looking for. I'm listening to guys like Daniel Jeremiah. He's telling me what I should be looking for. He's telling me that this arm length things matters. And then I start doing more reading. I start doing more research. And you're telling me, hey, if your arms are this short, no player has ever done this before. I pay attention to it. I understand how we could have 2 different 40 times. I really do. I get it. If you're doing a hand measure 40, I could see how I start my clock a little sooner than you start your clock. I stop it a little sooner than you. I can get how you and I can have 2 different hand-timed measurements. So that's why I just do the laser. I don't get how we can have 2 different measurements. I really don't. Oh, well, we measure this and then we measure. Why is there not a standard in the National Football League? This is how we do a measurement. I mean, we have a standard when it comes to height. And we're going to start at the bottom of your foot. We're going to go all the way to the top of your head. That's how tall you are. There are not alternative measurements for height. You're as tall as you are. Take your shoes off, stand up, put your back up. This is how we're going to measure how tall you are. Seems easy to me. This is all Ruben Bain is doing at the Combine. He's not doing anything else other than interviews and the basic measurements. He's not lifting any weights. He's not running. All he is doing is getting his arms measured and how much the scale is. This doesn't make any sense to me. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure a text line, oh, well, this is what happened. Well, why doesn't everybody in the NFL have the exact same strategy when it comes to how to measure these guys? We have the same strategy for everything. What are we doing here? There's one thing that hasn't changed: the ruler. The ruler has not changed. Your arms are as long as they are. Hey, let's measure them. I don't understand how there's a controversy on this. I'm sure the text line can explain to me 913-586 on how this happens, but I do not understand how the Cowboys, Chiefs, Broncos, and Patriots are not all measuring the exact same way. There should be no alternative measurements. There should just be one measurement, just like there's one weight. The scale in Kansas City should be the exact same scale that they have in Dallas. You weigh 238 pounds. You don't weigh 238 here and 240. No. I don't understand how this happened.
And if we can't get it right, why do we have the combine? Like what's the point of it? It is the place that teams go to get this information in one place. You go there to figure out what a guy measures, how fast he is, how tall he is, how high he can jump, things that maybe you can't define on tape, right? They're backing up what you see on tape. It's because a pro day might be biased. They might be fibbing the numbers a little bit when you go to a pro day, right? They might be saying the defensive tackle's a little heavier than he is, or the receiver's a little lighter than he is. I don't know. The quarterback's a little taller than he is. What we can't have, what I'm scared about happening is this bleeding over into a game. If we can't define how tall a guy is or how big his arms are, what if we couldn't define what a penalty is? What if we couldn't define what a catch is? Oh, wait, we already have those problems. This league can't get on the same page about anything at all.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, CDOT, I think each team has its own way of doing it. What I'm saying is, how do you have your own way of measuring things to get the correct measurement? Some things are forever. Like the same math that you had, the same addition that you had, your daughter is also now learning. They ain't changed addition. They have not.
That Common Core is I mean,
I'm telling you, they have not changed it.
It's a little funky now.
I'm telling you that right now, if you go, let's say you go in your attic and you find the ruler that your parents bought for you for your first day of kindergarten, you can now give that to your kindergarten. And the same way that it worked for you, it's going to work the exact same way for them. It ain't changed. It is unchanged in that way. So I'm saying is, I don't understand how there's different ways to do it. There should just be one way to do it. That's what it should be. It should just be one way to measure these things. Hey, how tall are you? How tall are you? Hey, take your shoes off, stand here. We're going to measure. How do we have a controversy on how long your arms are? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hopefully they figure it out. I don't know. Ultimately, it don't matter. Can you play or can you not play? We don't spend a lot of time talking about arm length once you get to the league. This is just, we're bored. We got nothing to do until March Madness, so we got to find something to talk about. So we are talking about how long your arms are. Please, basketball, get here. Please get here.
I mean, I will say I did watch Will Campbell a few Sundays ago, and I saw that if your arms are 4 inches shorter than the next guy's, it could be a problem.
He was getting whipped.
But if we're talking about like 32 and a quarter versus like 32 and a half, and then like, yeah, what are we doing? It is peak fill the downtime conversation.
So I want to go through this really quickly with you guys. So the NFL owners tried to stop us from hearing the grades from the NFL Players Association. That is not going to work. We got the grades. ESPN has them. ESPN is posting them. So some of these grades, I know you don't care about. You know what I know you don't care about? How the Chiefs are treating the players' families. That's not a high concern for you. You don't care that the Chiefs locker room got an F. You don't care. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that you should care. But I will say some of this stuff, you know what? You guys have done your part. You're going to make sure that these grades are changed. Food and dining area, don't worry. Kansas to the rescue. In this new stadium and this new practice facility out in Olathe, They're about to have Bobby Flay cooking the food out there, courtesy of the Kansas taxpayers. There's no reason for them in 2035 to get a C when it comes to food. They should have an A+ when it comes to food. I'm talking about fresh crab flown in from the Atlantic they're going to have on the Kansas taxpayer dime. Every time you buy something and in Johnson County, you need to know that you're contributing to the Chiefs locker room that has an F. So there's no reason for them to fix the locker room. You are about to fix the locker room. Your hard-earned tax dollars are about to fix the locker room for them. So they're going to, at this point, they don't care. They don't care. It's kind of like when you know that you're not getting your deposit back in the apartment. You just, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. I've already burned a hole in this carpet. I already put a hole in the wall for the TV. Hey, that $300 is gone. We're not getting that back.
Well, that's how the Chiefs are approaching the current locker room.
For
like,
sure.
you think it's got a bad grade now?
They're
Wait
done.
till the 2029 report card.
Oh,
This
my
thing's going to fall
goodness.
apart.
I mean, when they get that new one, it better be an A++. They better have the best locker room in the NFL. I know that much. For how much money they're taxing,
Right.
They better have the best. They better have hoverboards to take you to the. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to walk to the locker room. Just is going to carry you like the Jetsons.
The wives and girlfriends better be having filet. I mean, it needs to be nice.
Weight room B. That's okay. That's going to get fixed. Now, this is what was interesting on a serious note. Head coach, A. General manager, B+. Special teams coordinator, B. Defensive coordinator, A. Everybody's happy. Offensive coordinator, C+. He out of here. Hey, you're bringing down our average. Offensive coordinator, the Chiefs gave him a C+. Hey, man, you got to go work somewhere else. Position coaches, C+. Got to go somewhere else. Connor Embry is about to be selling real estate here in a couple of weeks. You're going to be on TikTok one day. I've seen that. That guy's selling a house in Oh, that was the Chiefs real estate. Running back coach. He might get a job somewhere else. Todd Pinkston might get a job somewhere else.
Connor Embry is going to get his real estate license and try to be a dentist.
100%.
That's what he's going to do.
He's telling you. Real estate. That's 100% where he's going.
Got to figure out what field he works in.
No, you know what? Connor Embry's going to do? He's going to train kids. That's what he's going to be. He's got NFL pedigree. Oh, he's definitely going to be a private session. Hey, come work out with me. I can help get your kid to the league. That's actually a good job.
My prediction is he's gonna write a book about like competitiveness. That's what I think he's gonna do. Like getting inside the edge of like a Kansas City Chiefs
Maybe he's
coach.
a speaker.
Yeah.
And he goes around. He can just show up at your seminar and wear his 2 Super Bowl rings, and he can tell you about, that's
my prediction. Now, Matt Nagy got a C+. You know how they talk about kids that get C+s? You're not getting a scholarship, and you're also not like have mandatory tutoring. They have potential.
Yeah,
that's how you talk about a
100%.
kid with a C+. They're not applying themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
It's exactly the way Andy Reid talked about Matt Nagy this offseason. Hey, he's going to be a coach in this league. So people are going to hire him, and he got 0 phone calls.
To get my degree, I had to take 1 science class. So I had to take physics. I just had to take 1 science class in order to meet the requirement. I didn't care what grade I got as long as I passed. I didn't care. I wasn't in here to retain the knowledge. I can't tell you anything I learned from that physics class. I was here for a purpose. You know why I'm here. I got a C in that class. Great. I never look back. That's what I'm saying. C, you're not throwing a party. You're not going to 1587 off a C. You're also not you're not in trouble for a C. You're not getting a brand new video game for a C, but your mom's also not taking the television away from you. They're not taking the Nintendo Switch away from you, depending on what class it is. You got a C+, hey, you did a good job. You did the best you could. You put it behind you.
Yeah, you're not on probation, but the firms at the career fair aren't calling you back. They're not looking at your resume when you hand it over to them. It's a C+. It's perfect for Matt Nagy.
Somebody said the Bengals got an F- for food. I saw that. I did see that. How do you get an F- for food? What are y'all serving? A F-. Oh, I forgot I saw that. That tickled me. I do remember the Bengals got an F- for food. That's, oh my goodness. The Bengals got it bad. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Kansas side, 35 southbound past 18th Street Expressway. Accident blocks 2 left lanes. Keeps things just crawling back towards South 7th Street Traffic Way. 35 northbound still slow from 95th Street up to 75th with 2 separate problems. Northland 29 northbound gets heavy at the 35 interchange. Stays slow to North Oak Traffic Way with an accident. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I gotta stop laughing, but getting an F- grade for food is nuts to me. The text line is saying that they're serving bar S hot dogs at the Bengals training facility. And it's just, that's hilarious to me. A F-? How is that possible? Now hearing this about the Bengals, it explains so much. It explains why Joe Burrow's body is breaking down. You're not giving him the proper nutrients that he needs at work. That's why his body's falling apart. That's why his limbs are breaking down. You're not giving him a square meal when he's there. F-. Think about the worst place you've eaten at. The absolute worst place. You still wouldn't give that food a F-.
Do you remember maybe 2 summers ago, that restaurant in Lawrence that went viral because the guy was cutting the meat up on the sidewalk? You know
I don't remember this.
That's what they got going on at the Bengals practice facility is what it sounds like to me. I'll find the name of that restaurant. But yeah, it was like on like national news about the guy like storing meat on the ground on the sidewalk outside of this restaurant.
No, I missed this, brother. I didn't hear this story. I didn't go. That's not the place I frequented. I wasn't there. You were there?
I've never been to the establishment. No, sir. Triaki in Lawrence.
Triaki?
Triaki. That's
what
right.
were they doing?
They were cutting up meat on the sidewalk outside the restaurant.
What, they
this
have
was like a year ago.
Hold on, I have questions now. I have follow-up questions. They couldn't put it on a table? There was enough room for them to cut it inside? They were just cutting it on the... Was it on like a tray? Was it on a napkin? What were they...
This is the conversation we were having. Welcome to the conversation. No. It was raw meat on the sidewalk being prepared. No tray, no parchment paper, no table. They were storing meat on the sidewalk.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Bengals got going on over there.
Is
man.
that place still open? They have to be closed.
I couldn't tell you.
There's no way. That's a health code violation you should never be able to recover from. They're still open. They're open right now.
You got plans tonight?
I really have so many questions. Hold on. Meat controversy. Hold on. I didn't know this existed. Oh my goodness. They got video of it. What's happening here?
Oh yeah. People were like going down there to get videos of it, like to prove that it was happening because they said that it wasn't.
I can't even. I gotta pick my jokes correctly, just given the kind of restaurant this is.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm like reading more about. I'm like, hold on, let me back away from this.
I'm trying to set you up.
I don't want to get too comfortable here. I don't want to get too comfortable. Oh, Karen just said no, he didn't. I did not say that. In fact, no. Leave this alone. This is wild. I'm looking this up right here. Hold on. Why did I play this? My wife is like, what is he doing? I'm like, he's chopping up meat. They started recording as he threw what appeared to be chopped up pieces of meat through the drive-through pavement into a container. It was gut-wrenching. I couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. There was no cutting board, nothing to chop on. He was just cutting on concrete. How is this place still open? I'm just saying, Lawrence isn't that big of a place where if you're like, hey, do you want to go eat? I'm like, yeah, where do you want to go eat? And then you say this company's name, that I'm not like, oh, you mean that place that was chopping meat on the ground? That would be the end of the conversation. Why don't we just not go there?
I do want to know who's going there in 2026. I do want to know.
That's wild. Somebody said no parchment paper. No, that's what this story says. I didn't know this until just now. So hold on. It goes on. So it got shared. It prompted inspectors to return to the restaurant that received 3 violations in October. They then go through it. However, no violations were found on Sunday. The owner explained to the inspectors the same thing that he told Fox 4, when he arrived to drop off water at the restaurant when the place was closed. He explained that the meat in the video was raw pork, which they don't serve on the menu. People should not worry that we're serving pork cut from the ground. Hold on. They said that this was personal use meat.
That's right. That's right.
They said this was meat for the crib. So why are you not doing that on personal time? What conclusion do you think the rest of us are going to come to if during business hours you're chopping up and preparing food? Do I think that's take-home food or do I think that's take-in food?
2 things. 1, yeah, you can't be doing that to your meat on the clock. You can't be doing that. It's unprofessional. 2, I don't care if it's meat you're serving customers or meat you're serving yourself and your kids. If you think that's okay to consume, I don't want to eat at your establishment.
You got a little gravel in the meat.
I don't care if I'm eating meat, veggies, tofu. I don't want a coffee from your establishment if that's the. Have you seen this video? He's like chopping meat on the sidewalk and tossing it into a bin.
Hold
like
on,
5
listen
feet
to
away
this.
from
Hold
him.
on, they really hold on. They took to social media to explain that the meat cooked at the end of the night, it's in a separate bowl from one of the customer bowls. All right, y'all went above and beyond lying in this story. Above and beyond lying. You're telling me that this was personal meat, and you don't serve this kind of meat, and you have special personal bowls that never. Okay, all right, you're a liar. There's nothing else to say. And also, the guy kept his job. It says the owner says that the worker will keep his job, but they've made it clear to him that the meat that you're cutting at home, keep it at home. You can cut your own meat at the crib all you want. Don't bring that meat here.
He's cutting a large slab of pork. Like, this is an industrial piece of pork. So at best here, not only is he committing health code violations, he's skimming from his business to eat personal food at home.
That's
like, there's no way he purchased this with his Amex, brought it to the store and cut it. He got this off the U.S. Foods truck, put it on the ground,
USDA.
and embezzled it home.
That's what it was, USDA. I didn't know that. I really did not know that. I learned something today. That's what this show's about, learning. I didn't know. Someone said, where's the restaurant? I don't want to do that, too. I don't want to repeat it, but shout out to them. They're still open. You can go there today.
Yeah, y'all have Google.
You can go there today and get you some nice pork tacos if you want.
I'm sure there's no line. I'm sure there's no line today.
Some pork tacos. Go get you some, man. All right, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather holds up on Sunday. They say it's supposed to snow. It's beautiful today, so enjoy the weather. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been nonstop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,000 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And it's not just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months, and people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out, when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?